Hello, comrades. In today's episode, we have Aaron Harris, one of Maisie's dear friends and someone who I hope is becoming one of my friends. Now, top of the episode, we mentioned someone named Nick, and that is Aaron's husband. Now, I also want to point out that is not the same Nick as a host. Yes, there's more than one Nick. I was shocked as well. And personally, I think there should only be one Nick allowed. Maybe like a variation, like a Nick, a Nikki, a Nicholas, a Nikolai. I don't know. Look, I don't agree with it. You shouldn't either. But also in this episode, you get to see two extremely perverted individuals be corralled into an interview by Maisie. Bless her soul, honestly. So I hope you enjoy the episode. If you don't, I don't know, check out another episode. Bye.
Before we go any further, let's be friends.
Nobody trusts anybody now. We're all very tired.
Feelings are mentionable and manageable.
Wow, you made a smart choice and you handled a big feeling. I'm so proud of you.
How old are you, Ray? I should cut your name shorter than it already is, and it's already just Aaron.
No, you're fine. I was trying to math.
You don't keep up with it, Jake.
No, I'll be 34 next month.
Okay, so you and Maze are the same age.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old are you?
Agent.
Mm-hmm.
36.
Mm-hmm. You and Nick are the same.
That's why we both look so good.
Uh-huh.
I like Nick. I'll hang out with him at some point. Seems like a dope guy. I'm not going to tell him to his face as a guy. I know this podcast is against that, but I can't do it.
He's been dealing with my emotions for a long time. So like, and he's been to therapy.
He seems emotionally stout. I'm going to be honest with you. He seems like the Maze.
It's the like, how abused have you been by your parents? And then like how emotionally stout you become. He's pretty much rubber. Most things bounce off.
I've just been letting it record the whole time, by the way. Cool. I wanted to get some just candid answers.
Yeah.
Back. I got our social security. It's in there.
He's trying to get some dirt on Nick.
Oh, okay.
He's
So-
gonna make a move on Nick soon. I can tell. It's like,
Shatter is what? You know what Aaron told me?
listen. I'm gonna tell you all this. When I was first dating Nick, I convinced him his dick was crooked.
Why did you want to convince him his dick was crooked, though?
I don't want to get into that because he did something to me. He tricked me into something. And
That's a weird thing to leave that note on, but okay. I'm gonna let it
you'll
go.
have to wait until like you interview Nick, and then he'll tell you that story. So that's the hook.
Literally. I'm going to write this down. I do want to bring this. Nick, what's about this crook in your dick?
So and he's like, no, it's not. My dick's not crooked. And I'm like, babe, you only ever see it from one angle. You haven't seen it from the angles I've seen it from. It's crooked.
Have you seen other dicks? How do you know?
Yeah. So for like a couple of years, I had him convinced. And then I finally was like, oh yeah, it's not. I was just messing with you. And he's like, what the?
This man has walked the earth for years with a complex going, I got a non-straight dick. I got a crook in my dick, you know? And then one day she's like, babe, I was joking. It's fine. He's like, you fucking piece of shit. I love you.
I didn't believe you anyway.
Why'd you bring it up? Why'd you bring it up all the time? I was just joking with you.
Oh, probably what would be worse to him would be the time that we were on like a 6-hour drive and then we were 30 minutes away from home. And I was like, oh, you've never seen a dick piercing? And showed him pictures while he was driving.
I'd have to pull over. Let me see these. Hang on. Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks painful as fuck.
Because it came up and he was like, what do you mean the whole school, like your whole high school knew that this one guy had gotten a dick piercing? What's a Prince Albert? And I'm like, yeah. We all knew. We all knew. And he couldn't have sex for like 3 months at least because of the piercing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dedication, I guess. Oh, God, I don't know. That's fucking rough.
We all knew.
I mean, in all fairness, if someone gets any kind of piercing like that in high school, it is immediately just surging through the school. Hey, someone got that? They're in clit, like they're in lip pierce. Which one on lip? No, like their lip. Oh, okay. I'll tell other people, you know? Also, would it bother you if I smoke this?
No.
Okay.
You're fine. You're fine.
Pull out a J. What about this? Go with this shit? I wish I had a fucking J right now. Like, what?
Man.
Crack a window. Nick be in there left just babysitting. What are you guys doing? We're recording. God be a dad. He's fine. She's relaxing for the first time in months.
Years.
I was getting so that the more I heard out there, I'm like, I think Aaron needs a vacation away from just everything.
Therapy has been wild because, like, when our dog got sick, like a couple of weeks ago, and I started crying, I was like, oh, therapy's having an effect. I'm crying now instead of like 5 days from now when I'm processing.
Right.
Like I'm actually crying in the oh wow, I'm crying in the moment. Wow. Like that was like a
Wait, did you struggle crying in the moment?
Mhm.
Same. I'm not good at crying though.
Yeah, same. Me
I
too.
struggle at processing emotions. Like I'm just so used to like when stuff is happening, I'm like handling the situation
Yeah.
Mhm.
and like controlling the emergency kind of thing that I don't process. I was like, I don't have emotions. I
Right.
don't understand. So it's been a long journey of like, especially with like dealing with Nick's family. Like we would get through their visit and then I would spend the next 3 days like decompressing and then journaling to like figure out how I felt.
Yes.
Like
that is also my MO.
Yeah. Like it's not until I write that then it's like, oh, I see the patterns. I see how I'm feeling. It's like,
I see. You mentioned journaling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I know I'm really getting on your interview. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
no.
But the whole thing is like journaling's never worked for me. I've tried, and I also can't focus on it. I love writing and stuff, but to sit down and actually process what I'm going through.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong. I could probably write you a scathing little review on something.
Yeah.
But hey, how do you feeling? I don't know words for these things. As I play with my Play-Doh over here,
Yeah.
I'm working on it. But so journaling's always been a challenge for me.
Yeah.
I'm better at talking. Like if
Yeah.
I go out and chat, and usually I don't necessarily not be direct with it, but I do like somewhat beat around the bush, and eventually it comes out. As Maze has learned, I gotta like slowly get to what's actually
Mhm.
bothering me, and she's very patient with me, so I get that. Oh, I'm sure Nick is as well. Though.
Yeah. For me, it's like long road trips. Long
Oh.
road trips are very good for like, you're kind of stuck in the car and you're like,
Gotta deal with it.
okay, I can kind of tease this out.
Yeah.
Or like, we've kind of talked through things and we've run out of things to talk about or listen to. And then it's like, yeah, I'm going to talk about this now.
I can relate to this. Prior to me and Maze, like before I got my new vehicle and everything like that, like my phone wouldn't hook up or anything like that. Radio didn't work and shit, so I'd drive a lot, and I would spend hours just like me in silence, going, "Well, I guess we'll work on our problems at AJ. What does your therapist say about you this month?
Mhm.
Let's work on homework."
Yeah.
So I do get that. There's something about just being alone and kind of like there's nothing else to talk about. You're saying you and Nick run about your usual conversations or stuff to listen to, and it becomes just like, well, shit, I might as well, if I want to do, if I don't want to sit here silently, I might as well actually think about these issues,
Yeah.
and you're kind of left with it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
know that. May, she's too healthy.
I don't know about that.
She's usually guiding me through it.
Even Maisie's therapist was like, why are you here? Come on. You're
This is-
done.
Well, not to brag. Not to brag. I think my therapist is pretty impressed with me too. Now it's a competition. I'm sorry. Traditional guy shit came out, and I was like, no, I'm too much of a man not to brag about it. I'm fucking healthy.
Too good at mental health. Actually, my therapist said I was too good at it.
Actually,
I was so worried about us not being loud enough, but everything is picked up so well. You're such a loudspeaker in a good way. I mean,
Yeah.
in a very solid way. It's like having on there then minus the alcoholism.
Yes.
I'm a couple years into my like recovery / denial. So,
Yeah.
What, did you have a problem with drinking or something like that in the past?
at one point, when I was working, I was unmedicated for anything and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Raw dogging it.
And yeah, so like was doing the like other things to medicate. So to sleep at night, I'd have like at least a couple of beers and take about like 6 Benadryl at least.
I was about to say,
And
hell
it was
yeah.
just kind of like, maybe I'll wake up, maybe I won't. Let's see.
It's fun.
I'm going to sleep
dice.
like a motherfucker, though. I'm
Yeah.
going to sleep good.
Yeah.
All right. I can respect. I've done a lot of things for my horrible insomnia, but now I'm on medication that's prescribed to me.
Yes.
But for a long time, I was like, what can I take to just dead my brain for the night?
Yes.
Yeah, Jake used to have a really bad NyQuil
Let's
problem.
don't tell people about my, oh God, I drink that shit. I'm not even going to deny it. I love the taste of NyQuil honestly. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
So we can't have NyQuil anymore.
Yeah. Did you know it's bad for you, apparently? And there I am just every night. Just I would buy it in bottles, just all of them. So I need all this shit.
Man. Like,
I had every flavor. Don't honey, the vapor ones, the purple.
Uh-huh.
I had one. I wish I could have found the original green one. You know, it's hard to find that.
Mhm.
Anyways, guys,
Going through all the flavors of NyQuil.
and they try to give you that like ZQuil shit. They're like, oh, it's not addictive for me. My ass, bro. See how I drink it.
yeah.
It's only non-habit forming if you don't drink it the way that you do.
Oh, it's so yummy. You get like they have this like warm cherry one or some shit like that, and it hits.
Yeah.
Just add some water to it. Becomes like a spritzer, you know.
Yes. Pour a little whiskey in it. Oh,
I used to do like
got an old fashioned.
listen, did you ever try ashwagandha?
I have tried ashwagandha, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say it clearly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. That stuff would just knock me right on down.
Somehow you still seem healthier than me. I'm fucking straight lining. Forget it.
Not ayahuasca, but ashwagandha.
Different.
Yes.
I
very
haven't tried
different.
the other one. I would.
Yes.
I would try the latter, I guess, on that.
I would
think I would.
not.
Yeah.
A night of vomiting and diarrhea. I have had enough of those without the mind tripping.
Yeah.
I want to be dehydrated and covered in shit when I come to a realization, you know? I want to point out I am not down. I don't mind trying new things, but I don't know if I would be. I would probably lose my shit if I had to like hallucinate. Too many bad things.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think we both
no.
talked about we would do shrooms, but probably not any of the other ones.
Yeah.
I don't want to see God or anything like that. He's a
Exactly.
piece of shit anyways.
Exactly.
I don't think I could handle it. It would be really interesting to have someone that's like you and I, that's like serious hardcore atheist,
Mm-hmm.
and then give them one of the like now you see God medicines, and just like what happens for, because I know it's like it triggers different like things in the brain that's
Mhm.
like there's similar experiences that people have, and it's probably because it's setting off different like clickers in your brain
Yeah, stuff that happens.
that
like,
makes you have these feelings.
exactly.
Yeah, oh my
like
God,
the
I-
near-death experience type kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
I feel like mine would just be like the most realistic dream of my fetishes ever coming to life. Just the whole fucking time. Maze is looking at him. He is just, oh, wait, he's doing something over there. Just fucking the couch or something, you know?
Just having a real good time over there.
Just crying and like biting the pillow, but also grinding. And it's like, oh yes, teenage deep suppression. I understand.
Anyone that hears that, like, Jake's always been a pillow biter, guys. I knew that was funny.
Screaming into the pillow.
I did that earlier, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, my life.
Oh, this is so random, but you can cut this. But when Nick throws up, Nick screams.
Yeah.
So he's like,
That's weird. That's
so-
weird. I'm going to
so it's like
he's,
it is like T-Rex raptor screams into the toilet bowl.
have you considered that's just his way of like, I get to make rapper noises. No one judges me.
No, he is not conscious enough to be having those thoughts.
He's not doing it.
Like
yeah.
like the last time, not the last time, but the most memorable time it happened, we went to the college drinking city for our college. So we all get a degree in functional alcoholism.
Right.
And-
It's the only thing my degrees has been good for.
And that's really, it's just I wouldn't even say training wheels to drinking, because you pretty much hop in and you figure it out.
Yeah.
What happens when Nick drinks? Nick turns into who I call Jennifer, and she's a sorority girl, and she's the girl who is like, guys, let's do shots. That's what Nick turns into.
Nick's a problem.
Nick's
Right
a
here.
problem.
Fucking problem.
Nick should have stopped, and Nick had shots instead. And so 3 or 4 more shots later,
Mhm.
Nick, like horror movie, four on all fours, crawls up the stairs to bed.
Go. Now I'm loving it. Go ahead.
We have activities that Nick does not remember. And then Nick goes to the bathroom to start throwing up. And I go to check on him as he's like raptor screaming into the toilet bowl. I'm like, you okay? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, baby, I'm going to go back to bed. His face is in the toilet.
Yeah.
It, like full, like when I throw up in the toilet, I'm not this close to the water. He is in the bowl.
I'm not in the toilet.
He is in the bowl. Like I throw up just getting that close to the toilet.
Right.
Yeah.
He is in the bowl, face down in the bowl, looking in the bowl, and he's like, "Good night, baby. I love you." And he just like air kisses into the toilet.
Oh,
It
goodness.
took a while for you to kiss him again, right? I mean, it takes a little bit. Like, brush your teeth a little bit, a couple days.
Oh, he's still just impressed that he performed that night.
That is
And
such
he has
a guy
no
fucking
memory.
thing.
He has no memory.
Hey, babe, I know I was blacked out, but did I do good? Did I do good?
Yeah.
Rocked your roof. Even drunk
Oh,
me kills the
man.
game.
And then, like, you know,
Aaron's like, that was the best, actually. He was not self-conscious. He went in there very confident.
he was on top.
And that's
already in like the
You-
5% of like,
that's a weird place for a
that's
bottom.
rare. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. That was the weirdest thing about like first starting out our relationship is just like we're both kind of bottoms. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, man, why am I what this is not what I thought it would be like. This is not what the romance novels led me to believe.
You were reading from the wrong perspective. See what it was. As a fellow, sub himself. You look. I don't want to say it there honestly. Take what you can get.
And then later I grew into it. I was like, no. And then like when I would be working and I worked in a male dominated industry, I would come home and I would take out my anger at males on Nick. And I would just be like, lay down, don't dare say it, shut up. And just and he's like, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Shut up.
Did I say speak? That's why they lock the
Yes.
door when they're not in there.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad most of this interview so far is just us talking about Nick's bottomness. And he won't know about this
Embrace-
for months.
For months.
If he ever listens.
That's a good point. But there's friends. Oh my God, I didn't know that about you. Like, oh yeah, I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
It's like guys like, get me in trouble for spitting tobacco again now, will you? I'll
Mhm.
call your wife.
People meet me now and they don't know me and they're like, you seem so nice. It's so surprising you're with Nick. And then like Nick tells me about something at work and I'm like, and he's like, yeah, people don't realize there's this side of you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. There's just
secret.
Yeah. I just seem nice because I'm not working anymore and I started on therapy and I'm like, calm down, I'm a mom and I'm taking medications. They don't know the other side of me, that the reason we're together is that we're just as bad as the other one.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to get actually into some of my questions instead of us just chatting.
Mhm.
What's something that made you feel something in the last month? Could be good feelings, bad feelings, neutral feelings, just any sort of feelings.
Oh man, why do you gotta do this?
I'll be honest with you. Before we came in here, you gave us a litany of all the bad things, so you could just recite one of those. Honestly, good God.
It's like, what is a feeling? And I'm like, man, I have been so depressed. I don't even know.
I don't mean to derail your question.
yeah.
You've mentioned the depression a couple of times. It is a specific thing, or just
Mhm.
everything coming together. Oh, it is a specific thing.
It is a thing that I've realized is going to be a chronic ongoing thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I just constantly look out for. Like if you have cancer and you go in remission, you
Mhm.
still have to get checked
Right.
to like make sure it's not coming back. That's kind of how it is for me with depression. Is like I'm constantly kind of trying to keep an awareness of
Yeah.
where I'm at with that.
Is it kind of like been alleviated somewhat? Would you go into therapy and everything now?
Yes, I started medication long before therapy. So medication was a big help. Then like getting diagnosed with ADHD and getting on ADHD medication, that has also helped.
Yeah.
Because like being off ADHD medication because there's an issue with the prescription and insurance and all of that lovely stuff.
There's also like a shortage, I think, on some of the ADHD medicine for a
Mhm.
while as well.
Mhm.
I had an issue with mine. Sorry, I made a cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So having my ADHD plays into my depression a lot because that's just a lot of the constant like spiraling my brain will do. It's
I
just like
understand, yeah.
let's play that some more.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the things that we hate about ourselves.
Right.
Not only is your brain going to barrage you every day, all day, know the pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's also going to give you one specific thing to really drill home, usually for me. It's like,
Mhm.
hey, deeper, you got all this going on, but also here's what you can be really depressed about.
Yeah. And it can be stupid stuff. Like we've got like a guilt-free spending thing.
Yeah.
So like whatever comes out of this is guilt-free. And my brain is like, bet money. Like you pay how much for a gym every month and you don't go? You're awful.
Yes.
You're the worst.
I completely fucking feel that. Maze has to do all the time. No, we're fine. We have
Yes.
plenty of money. And I'm like, oh my God, what about this? And she's like, babe, we're fine. We have savings. I was like, but what if we're not? Even with this
Yes.
recording, she's like, we bought a board.
Yeah.
We're pulling it. So she goes, hey, it's okay. Don't panic, but we got all of this going on. I'm like, I don't know.
What if we suddenly don't have an episode and it's Monday night?
I'm a worry wart. Sorry, I took over.
No, it's okay. Let's talk about friends. Do you remember how we first became friends?
Yes, I do. I met you through Nick and our friend Carly, who I met through Nick. And one of us is far more introverted than the other. It's me. And
You don't say.
it's the person that stays at home all the time. And Carly knew your person at the time, and then knew you, and then Carly and you and Nick and a couple of other people were getting together to do game nights.
Yeah.
Nerd shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
D&D stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will forever shit on that. I don't care.
Oh.
I don't care if people are unpopular or not.
Oh, I call Nick a nerd all the time.
Okay, good. We would.
I'm all like, you nerd.
He's a fucking nerd.
I'm like, what a dork.
See our fucking nerd games behind me right now?
No.
She's like, you want to take this with us? No.
No.
Sorry. I'm just relating with our guest. Okay?
Yes. Yes, you're fine.
Hmm.
Anyway, so you're out playing games and meeting up. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's how we met. It was actually one of the rough patches for me and Nick because like in our relationship, so like I was under a lot of stress, again, not treated. This was during the time when I was 6+ Benadryls and a half a pack of something every night.
The good days.
Oh man, burning it both ends.
Yeah.
Just real rough times. And Nick being gone, doing like game days. So like the one couple of days we would have together.
Yeah.
He's spending like 12 hours over there. And then it just like,
Can I? Not to cut you off. I think
Go
that's
ahead.
important. I've a lot of the guys we've talked to play video games, and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And it does. I as someone who doesn't play video games, I was unaware of how much time people put into it. And I'm always curious, like, is that still like an ongoing strain? Like how much people play video games or just
Mhm.
any kind, not even video games, just D&D or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like how, and I know you're getting to that. Like, how do you end up like working past that? I know I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I know, I'm going to say the classic thing. That's also just the like, yeah, I know, but how do we fix it? It really is just communication.
Yeah.
So it really came down to like, plus it was the holidays. It came down to like, cause like, I think y'all started playing together in the fall and y'all
Mhm.
played through the fall.
Yeah.
And so it was like, you were doing the Werewolf game. There was like a superheroes game.
Mhm.
There was like a D&D thing. And then there was another D&D thing.
Mhm.
So there's all these role-playing games and they always take like 12 hours. So they're not starting until like maybe 2 p.m.
Mhm.
depending on when people show up. And there's always people that are a couple of hours late because what is time? What is respect for other people's time?
Oh my God, that would annoy me so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be so heated. Where the fuck have you been for 2 hours?
And it's like, okay, this is like my one big day off
Yeah.
that like we can do stuff together with and you're gone and you're
Mhm.
not here. And then like I'm taking care of the house and I'm stressed. And so like that time was kind of like the worst time in our relationship because I'd planned to like go to Atlanta to visit one of our friends and Nick was going to be working.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going by myself. And like there was just a thing that had been really upsetting where I had been really stressed. It was right before Christmas, which is
Mhm.
like worst time of year for me. And one of our dogs had gotten out when I was visiting my family.
Yeah.
And so I was super stressed from that. You know, I'd caught him and gotten him back, but I was just super, super scared that something would happen to him. And it was just like Nick just was not there. It's that like emotionally he was not there for me.
Yeah.
So right after that, I was going to Atlanta to meet our friend. And that morning I just left and went. And then I get a message from Nick like halfway through the day, like, why didn't you wake me up? And I'm like, you're going to work. I'm over here ranting to my friend about you right now. We are together both ranting about our like husband and boyfriend. Both are named Nick. So we're both having Nick rants. And
As someone who has a friend who's a dear friend of me named Nick, I also rant about him. This is a Nick thing, I think.
it's a Nick. Yeah.
Real disappointment.
All Nicks are dicks.
Yes.
And it's I know it's partially my own fault. I'm only attracted to dicks and assholes. So like
Ones you can dominate.
yeah. Oh, you can be snarky, but I'm gonna beat you later.
Oh, with a little attitude? Wait till we get home.
Mm-hmm.
She gives me the look when we're out doing things. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. And yet, deep down, I
You're
fucking love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's gonna get me later. Yes.
So, like, at that rant, did you like tell him why you were ranting about him or anything? Or
No, like I didn't. Not then. I I was still like working through it. Like I was just out, just like trying to have fun, spend time with my friend. And he's like, I was coming with you. Why didn't you wake me up? And I'm like, you didn't tell me that. And still to this day, I'm like, I did not know you wanted to come. I did not know. So by that point, I kind of like worked through, gotten out, kind of blew off steam. We went and had like traditional Korean food at a traditional Korean restaurant.
Yeah.
I took lots of pictures and sent them to Nick and was like,
You just-
suck it. And
You know, for a second, I thought you meant the day in and you went back and met up with him and you got but no, fuck him.
I did bring back lots of like special pastries.
But that was after you took plenty of pictures to make him feel bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the energy. I'm on your side here. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was after plenty of pictures. So I came back that night with like food and like drinks from Atlanta, like the specialty, like
Yeah.
Asian stuff you couldn't get where we were. And that night we had a breakdown and talked about the relationship and stuff. So it really comes down to finding a balance with communicating and also like him communicating on his end.
Mhm.
Because like, you know, I've found over the years with Nick that it really comes and goes. Like there's just a cycle.
Mhm.
And so pretty much every year around January, it picks up where he needs to be more extroverted.
Yeah.
He needs to be out doing things to distract himself.
Get his golden retriever energy out.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know about golden retriever energy, but just to distract himself.
Okay.
He just needs like that escape.
Mhm.
And that's what video games are for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And his is more like, you know, with getting into the cards again and stuff. Because there was one point in our relationship when he, early on, before like we knew Maisie,
Mhm.
that he was into Magic. And
The card game, guys, not actual magic. You know?
no. Yeah. Yeah, Magic the Gathering. And just, we were college students.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the income was going to those.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to stop. Like, you got to control this. Like, something's got to.
As someone who's not a nerd, is it expensive?
Oh God,
Oh,
it's so
God.
expensive.
Okay.
Each one of
It's
those.
a card game, right? It's a card game. I've seen it.
So-
I've seen the cards.
We
But
were
there's
going through.
always like new updates. There's
Yeah.
always new releases.
There's new packs coming
packs
out
coming out.
constantly. Yeah, each one of those like packs that you saw when we were going through them earlier is like $60.
Imagine you're a nation and you have an army.
Yeah.
Now imagine like you kind of have an army over here too. And then you want to buy this guy to add to this army.
This is why I don't play like games with friends. I don't even want to do this by myself, honestly.
Mm-mm.
I get 2 hardback books for $60. Well, maybe not now.
Yeah.
This
This is
is
just my rant about nerds. I'm sorry. This
Yeah.
is my problem, actually.
No.
Nerds. I think.
like
Like, you-
I think what's the baseline price for a pack? Is it like 50 to 75
Yeah.
to 100?
how,
Yeah.
how many cards are you getting in this pack?
Like a full set, aren't you?
I don't know how many is in a pack anymore.
And then like when you go to play, you're usually like paying
Mm-hmm.
and you're buying stacks and stuff too. So like when you're on college income, it's not.
Oh, I remember college income days.
Yeah.
man.
Not
I didn't.
financially
In all fairness,
feasible.
I spent it on booze for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I had what we call a drinking problem.
Spend on dogs.
Booze and books for me, and brunch.
And brunch.
Love
The
my
three
booze,
B's.
booze, books, and brunch, baby.
Listen, we were talking about that friend earlier that I had, and she had a moment where she's very Martha Stewart, and she decided she was going to make a girls' club, and we would all go out to brunch every Saturday.
Yeah.
And she picked a place, and I'm like, girl, I can't afford this.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $13, $15 for some eggs. You're crazy.
I mean, how good were the eggs? I mean,
I came from a farm. I'm going to go get eggs on the farm. I got free eggs in the fridge. I'm not paying to you crazy.
that's where we diverge. I'd be like, sounds like some good brunch. Let me get in there. I love brunch, though.
College age girls club. She should have gone for once a month instead of once a week.
We were working at the time, so we weren't college, but we were in a college town.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Young professional.
Yes. young and in debt.
Yes.
My falling off of my friends with brunch, I know I'm interrupting here,
Mm.
was when like they started having kids and shit. And they're like, oh, we're going to bring the kids. I no longer want to go to brunch with you. I don't want to hang out with you. No, none against my friends with kids. You know,
Yeah.
they're great people and I'm sure great parents. I don't ask. But like, I don't want to hang out with a bunch of kids. I've showed up at brunch with friends who have kids and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I'll get my own table. Because I came to eat. I don't want to hear people. I don't like kids.
Yeah. I have a kid, but I do love him.
I would assume.
He does very well, but it's still just the same thing for me if like Nick had a couple of friends here that again he was meeting up with on Saturday to go play board games with, and we would meet them at Cracker Barrel for breakfast because that was they like had to go to Cracker Barrel. One of them had a like family tradition of going to Cracker Barrel every Saturday, and I'm like, listen, I don't know much about you, but that sounds like some therapy stuff.
No, that sounds like my people.
That sounds
Jim Crow Denny's.
Yeah, oh, God. Way to make it dark. Man, way to make it dark. You speak on Cracker Barrel like, no, I don't like Cracker Barrel.
I know. I was like, I can talk shit about Cracker Barrel. You're not going to care.
Anything with a buffet. Fuck it. Ugh.
Cracker Barrel doesn't have a buffet.
I know, I'm saying anything with a
Okay,
buffet.
fair
Because there was another joint. You know, I don't want to get on a tangent about my hate for buffets.
My dad did used to love a Golden Corral when I was a child.
Every goddamn man I know,
Don't
my
even-
dad's age, buffet. And then we eat all day there. And I hate them. And my father would intentionally take us to buffet. He's like, I know Jake hates it, but we all like it. Let's go. I'm like, I would like a meal once where I'm happy. Like Happy Meal, you know, literally.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just let me go get a Happy Meal and then we'll take that. I don't.
So you're stuck at racist Denny's with these people.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, if I wanted, and they all would get like a couple of eggs, a couple pieces of bacon, and like a side, like apple
Yeah.
slices. And I'm like, man, come over to the house and I'll make you that. Like,
Right?
get the fuck out of here. That's so,
You'd be so aggravated. This is what you're getting?
yeah.
I'd be with you on this.
Like, I'm at least going to get like some stupid fancy pancakes. Like, give me some French toast. I'm not like, get out of here.
I have a friend when we go places like that. He's like, I'll take the simplest meal. And it's not because he likes the simplest meal. It's just like, it's like a whole, like, kind of like what it feels like he's trying to be like stoic. And I don't splurge or have any gluttony. I'm like, fuck that shit. Give me 2 eggs, some grits, some oatmeal. I'm going to eat it all. I mean, I came out for a reason.
If you're going to be stoic, then sit out in the parking lot and eat some Vienna sausages. Shut up.
Smoke
Like,
a cigarette and be unhappy over
yeah.
there.
Yeah. And don't be smoking that filtered bullshit.
No.
You better be rolling that shit by yourself.
Just no filter, just straight wrapping
Yeah.
tobacco. I'm there with you. Fuck those people. I don't have emotions. Fuck you.
Fuck off. Says the one who's like, feelings. Oh, man.
Feelings are gross.
Well,
We're working on our feelings, all right?
Listen, that's why we're in therapy.
Yes, that's what therapy's for. Shout out to therapy. As we do in every episode, big shout out to therapy.
I don't know. I'm souring on it.
All right. So tell me some of your earliest memories of what making friends was like. As a child, did you struggle? Was it easy? What was your friendship making dynamic as a child?
Yeah, were you like a weird fuck who couldn't make friends, or
Oh, man.
that seems like a yes.
Yeah. All right, listen. All right, so
Taking it back to Aaron's childhood.
I'm not going to blame my parents for this, but I'm going to blame my parents for this. So
That's bad.
I was the youngest. I had sisters, but they were like 15 and 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I'm very much the youngest. We lived in the middle of nowhere.
hmm
Like, there are no kids nearby. Everybody is elderly. And my friends were the dogs.
Sounds
So-
like a sad, like fucking fairy tale already.
Yes. So, like, outside of like seeing like a couple of kids at church every Sunday for like maybe 5 minutes at the end of church.
You're
then-
saying church, no school?
Well, yeah, once I got to school.
Oh, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Yeah. If you just let me like
I'll be
roll,
quiet. As a man, keep interrupting.
you can edit it out later. Gosh.
cut this out.
I will not be cutting it out.
I've been waiting for you to mansplain, so I just call it.
I'm pretty good about avoiding it.
Yeah.
He usually does a pretty good job.
Good job.
I did apologize that day because I explained something. I looked at him like, I just explained something so basic to you, and I know you know what it was. She's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. And I walked away. Just so our audience knows,
Yeah.
even I fuck up occasionally as a man.
But being a man is owning up to it.
You know what? That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Can we get back to her not being able to make friends?
Yeah.
You could come out of the corner you're like cowering in.
Let her get back to talking about how she's only friends with the canines in the area.
Yeah, no, really. There were horses and cows And chickens.
God, you named every animal I hate.
There were cats. We had lots of cats.
But you know what? Cool with cats.
We had tons of cats. I had cat scratch fever once.
That's,
I didn't know that was a thing you could still get.
Apparently, yeah.
Have you not listened to Ted Nugent's song?
No.
Pantera did a cover. You know what? I'm going to shut up again. You know what? I had some weird music influence as a child. I'm going to shut up. You and the dogs? Sorry.
Call you out about some Ted Nugent stuff.
I'm not like a fan of Ted Nugent. But
No, Maisie's too old.
those songs were not about her. You don't notice those when your dad's playing them for you in his CD going out there. I'm like, this is dope. And then they're going, it's statutory rape. That's what he's singing about.
That's not.
Dad, have we thought about this? He didn't notice it. Yeah, it was cool in your day, wasn't it?
You didn't
Your
think about it.
dad's wife is like 6 months younger than you. So.
My stepmother is younger than me, yes.
My condolences.
No comment. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be nice.
We'll just keep rolling. We didn't see that. Okay.
I keep throwing you up. I'm sorry.
Making friends. This is what happens when you put too many ADHD people in a room and you expect us to get something done in less than an hour. It's not going to happen.
I didn't take my meds anyways.
I missed my afternoon dose.
Yeah, we're both wired then, or not paying attention. Something there.
Yeah, we were on the way over here, and I'm like, my thoughts everywhere can't line up. Ugh.
Well, I honestly don't like it when I take my ADHD and I've done interviews because I'm very more rigid. I feel I'm like I'm fucking locked in and I'm just staring at the guests like this. I'm like, so when did your father hit you the first time?
Yeah. No. When people are like, sorry, I went on a tangent, I was like, I didn't even notice. I'm just right here with you. I'm along for the ride.
Whatever you want to
I'm
take it.
locked in. What is the next unexpected turn? Because I'm not going to notice we're turning. We're upside down now. Are we?
I've already forgot the beginning of this conversation, probably.
What? So making friends, I guess, was definitely harder when I was younger. It's never gotten easier. But I think it's gotten harder as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
It's harder for me to connect. It's really hard for me to trust people. It's really hard for me to open up to people. The first time I met Maisie, I was like, I was like, well, Maisie's fine. But like the rest of the situation, I was so mad at Nick.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I had just gotten off work. I'm already mad
Yeah.
because I've been at work. And like what we were going to do at Maisie's, what I thought we were going to do was like create characters and stuff. And then we just sat down and watched a movie. And I'm like, this is not. And then it's a horror movie too. And I just have no suspension of disbelief. And I'm just like, this is stupid. This is so stupid.
We would have hung out if I was Emily. You get the fuck out of here. Let's get a cocktail or something. They're watching the same goddamn horror movie for the fifth time.
Yeah, the only thing was when they were like, "Oh, look, that's a wig. Like, look at that's a terrible wig." And I was like, "Oh,
I love
really?
you.
Like, oh, wow, okay. How do y'all know? Like, how do you know?"
Now I'm in.
Yeah, now I'm locked in. I'm like, teach me things.
She got me into horror more of like, she knows I love horrible movies, like just the garbage of the earth. And she's like, I know some horror movies like that. And she slowly fed me where I'm watching like classic horrors. Now I'm like, this is actually a masterpiece. I'm like, it's actually really good. I don't fucking hate it.
Yeah.
She trades with me.
Yeah. You gotta,
I often will pick the movie she hates
hmm
just to make her watch it.
Yes.
Her least favorite Halloween is Halloween 5, I think, with Paul Rudd. And she told me that. And I was immediately like, well, guess what we're about to fucking watch then?
I'm so out of the horror genre that when you said Halloween movie, my brain's like Halloween Town 3. Like that was the worst one.
It is the worst one.
That'd be my favorite, probably. I fucking love this movie.
Man.
So did your parents have friends or anything when you were growing up, or are they like similarly kind of more isolated people?
No, very isolated.
Yeah.
My dad is, again, like the more friendlier person. My dad, strangely enough, men love my dad
Mm-hmm.
because my dad is very good at sitting and listening and like connecting emotionally to people. And so for guys,
Very rare.
that's so rare. And my dad is so friendly and nice, and like my dad never oversteps
Yeah.
into stuff. So people just open up to him. They're always like, he's so nice. So like my dad's really good at that. And my mom is like, she's not here for it.
I was wondering he was going to take that. My dad, phenomenal. People love him. My mom, well, she's my mom.
We're in therapy for a lot of things. It's not just my mom, but we do talk about it a lot.
But it is also your mom.
It is a lot. Might have been the trigger.
So definitely not your mom, but who were your other role models growing up?
Look how good she's at making friends. It might have been her mom.
I do respect my mom a lot. I have a lot of respect for my mom.
Yeah.
Like, even like Nick's mom, I have a lot of respect for Nick's mom.
Yeah.
I also don't like. There's
Yeah.
also issues there.
Yeah.
But role models is hard because it's kind of like, I don't know. I never got that. Like,
Yeah.
that was just something that never clicked to me. Like, where people have heroes, like where like George Washington is a hero.
Mhm.
I never got that. I don't get that, like, this is my football team and I care so much about this thing.
Mhm.
I don't get that. I love football, but
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I like it for other reasons.
No, I get that. I
Yeah.
struggled with that as well. There was never like someone go, oh, that's my role model, or I look up to this person. Like,
Yeah.
I really back this team and everything. And because it just doesn't hit like that for me. I still like
Yeah.
things and I'm passionate about things, but I don't
Yeah.
have that like, oh, look to this guy to really get me into it and everything
Mhm.
like that. So,
I think I would say, and I'm a bit wary to even bring up anybody because, like, a lot of these people I don't know very much about
Right.
because, like, I'm getting to a place now where I'm kind of able to accept, like, they're not the same as me. So they're not necessarily going to have, I can like this creator and also disagree with this creator on other things.
Right.
yeah.
Or just because this is a rumor about this creator's politics
Doesn't
doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Kind of like
And
to separate the artist from the art or whatnot. Kind of thing.
sort of, yeah. Like, which these creators are more like commentary creators.
Okay.
So it's a bit different. What they're creating is someone can be right about something. You can agree with someone about something.
Yeah.
And they can be wrong on other things.
Yeah,
And that's-
completely agree with that.
That's a really hard thing for me to understand sometimes.
Mhm.
Because I think our climate has gotten so just divided on, if you're this way, we don't want you here.
Mhm.
And so it's really hard to be exposed to that environment and work in that environment and not feel personally attacked and
Yeah.
not feel like I can't trust you.
Mhm.
If you think this, then I can't trust you.
Yeah.
And so that's been, and I don't think I've necessarily changed about how I feel about that. I think that's, a lot of people have shown their true colors.
Mhm.
But I forgot what your original question was. Role models.
Role models. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to name off a couple of people without really knowing
If they're
deeply
yeah.
about, I'm sure they've made some bad decisions. I'm sure, I know. Everybody has a past.
She says like Andrew Tate or something, and it's like, I'm like, all right, well, maybe not him.
Listen, no. God, no. Jane Goodall and Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I think
So-
those are good valid picks.
Yeah. Those would be the first. Those would be the two I would.
I don't know anybody would hate you for being like, wow, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Bleh. Well,
I'm sure
I-
there's been some poor decisions.
Yeah. I'm sure her politics like weren't as progressive
Yeah.
as like we might like them to be or something like that, but still like valid.
Yeah. And anytime someone has been kind of taken and, like, even within her lifetime, she was made into a symbol.
Yeah, propped up as this like icon.
Yeah. And I think that what my kind of problem with heroes is that what we make them to be, what they represent to us in our minds, dehumanizes them.
Right. Yes.
It makes them into something like divine or holy or something. We expect them to be better. And the truth is they're not.
They're just people.
Yeah. They still get diarrhea.
Mhm.
Like, it's, I don't,
I've never heard it put like that, but I get it. I agree.
don't.
Everyone shits themselves occasionally, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
I love that's how you view the people. You're like, heroes, they shit themselves.
How do we humanize somebody? They also get food poisoning.
Yeah.
What does your current support system look like?
So kind of to lead into that, to just, what's the thing I would suck at in essays? Transitions. Transitions.
Thought you were going to say introduction.
Yeah. I'm like, now that I've been diagnosed with ADHD in the last year,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, no wonder I would get yelled at about not doing a transition from one paragraph to the next. And I'm like, I don't understand. It went smoothly. I had this thought and then I had the next thought. What do you mean there needs to be a bridge?
Couldn't have guessed that by your speech patterns alone.
What? The signs have been there all along. So we had a family member coming to visit, and I had already set up a thing with my friends for that weekend in high school. And my mom told me, like, your friends will come and go, but your family will always be there. So she really drew a hard line in, like, you need to stay here and meet this family member that you rarely see, but is blood close,
Yeah.
genetically close, versus like your friends that you see 5 days a week or whatever. And like, I ended up like doing both. But I would say that's very much how my mom would feel about it, and how I was raised to be like, you don't need friends, you have family.
Yeah.
And now I'm very much like, my friends are my family,
Yeah.
because I've opened up to my friends about things long before my parents and my family. You know, just to like call it out, like, I'm bi/pan, so I'm not straight.
Right.
I'm atheist, so I'm not religious, and my whole family is Southern Baptist, and that's a very strong Southern Baptist. Yes, it is. And I just like, as I got older and then became an atheist, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff that would fit in my brain where like just minutia of Bible knowledge
Yes.
like is like,
Wait,
yeah,
can I ask you a question? So, like,
yeah.
your mom focused like blood ties, right? Like
Mhm.
the blood ties are what are important, everything like that. What about a church though? Was there like no like? Did your mom not like really enforce like a community within the church itself? Then no, okay,
no.
that community is not good enough. God's community.
Church was very small. Church, very, very small. Like our family, and then like 2 to 3 other main families, and
It's just a fucking compound. What's going on?
just a very small Southern church in the middle of nowhere, big enough for there to be like the white people church and then the black people church.
I did come from a very small town. I get that.
Yep.
Mhm,
Yep.
mhm. Yeah, we had, my friends, and like Maisie knows this with us, is like, y'all are our family.
Right. Yeah.
For like, I've very much embraced
The found
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that we've all become our own kind of comfort and circle of community. Because that's one thing that like Nick never really had growing up that I very much miss. I miss having community.
Yeah.
Like, there's a period of time where Carly lived right beside us in the apartment next door. That was wonderful for me. I loved that because it was like, oh, if we can just go over to Carly's and hang out for a little bit, or like we see Carly and Carly can come over to our place. Like, I loved that. I loved having that community. I love being friendly with neighbors. It's that like small town kind of thing. But yeah, our friends are very much, and we try to be there in a very strong way for our friends as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Nick are both really supportive, like very loving people,
Mhm.
especially of your friends. So
Mhm.
that's definitely something that I've experienced. How about like, I know Nick does like the gaming and everything. He goes and does that quite frequently. How about you? Like, what is your like independent relationship with your friends like?
Okay, so you're asking how I interact with my friends outside of Nick?
Yes.
Okay, that's hard and tricky because like if I go somewhere, Nick goes pretty
Yeah.
much, unless I'm going to Lowe's. My independent time is generally like solo time.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, if I'm hanging out with a friend by myself, it's like we're meeting up for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because like all of our friends have become kind of scattered
Yeah.
since we've all kind of moved away. But it's generally like an activity base. Like
Mhm.
there's some excuse or reason for us to be getting together and like doing a project, doing a class,
Mm-hmm.
shopping for plants. We're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an objective to complete.
Mm-hmm. There's something for us to like be our primary focus as we are
Hanging out.
physically close together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, also, I will say like a lot of our, like through technology, we're communicating a lot. Like
Mhm.
I text all the time
Yeah.
I'm a big texter. Because like I can be home alone, but I can send you a message because I've had some random brain fart.
Mhm.
I'm getting into being like a bigger caller
Mm.
because I feel like that's a bit more of an interaction that's
Yeah.
very nice.
Mhm.
FaceTiming, being able to like do a face video to video with someone
Mhm.
has been a very nice interaction to just get that kind of level of personal connection
Mhm.
kind of happening.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're not your gender necessarily, but your gender, the gender of other people you're friends with, do you feel like it affects your friendship at all? Like, do you notice a difference in the way that you make friends with men versus women?
Okay. I'd love to talk about this.
Yes.
So there's no way to make this long story short. I was raised on a farm. I was born female. I still identify as like female-ish. I don't identify as not female.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, gender has never been big.
Yeah.
Gender has never been important. There were no boys on our farm.
Mhm.
My parents only had girls. And when things have to be done on the farm, you do the thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter what gender you are. You're going to be out there fixing the fence in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got to get this done. You're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to be like working cows in the rain and giving them their vaccines and getting covered with mud and poop. Like, that's just, you're going to do it.
Yeah. It's got to happen. You're the
It's-
only one here. You have to do it.
It's got to happen. You're under 70. You're out here doing it.
Yeah.
So, like, the one who's 70 is operating the head gate to catch the cow.
Right.
Yeah, they're not directly in the rain.
They're in the rain, but they're like, they're less likely to get hit by the cow.
Yeah.
They're just pulling their arm down to like pull the lever.
They're still usable. They're still
Yeah.
useful. Get out there, Grandpa.
Yeah. So for me, gender, I always wanted to have friends with like everybody. Like, I always wanted to be friends with guys
Mm-hmm.
because like guys were like the more active ones. They're the ones doing like the more of the kickball, more of the frisbee. I always want to be doing that. I always want to be doing the more physical thing. And there was just always more of a disconnection where like guys would not get close to girls in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Once third grade and up, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like there wasn't any good way to get in with that group. When I was in high school, that changed more. Like we kind of have had a group of not really misfits, but just like more cerebral thinkers, I guess, friends. So guys that weren't really doing the sports things, but you could sit down and talk and have fun with, and they'd be fine with that. So like into high school and then into college where I'm dating Nick and I'm hanging out with his friends, it's like as long as I have Nick, then guys are more comfortable interacting with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that. Nick plays the middleman a little bit in that
Mhm.
way.
Yeah.
I get that.
And like I even told Nick when we were meeting up with some of his coworkers, I'm like, it aggravates me because I feel like they're looking at me as your wife. And Nick's like, you are my wife. And I'm like, that is a thing I am, but they are not looking at me as
An independent
an
person.
independent person.
Yeah.
I'm also here as just me,
Yeah.
not as like
Just your wife.
just Nick's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it's like there's kind of this, there's been like this dissonance my whole life of like struggling to connect with men in a way that I just want to connect with you and be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always want to adopt a brother. Like, every time we meet a guy, and like Maisie has seen me like revert into it because it's not even like a conscious thing, but I'm like, I want to make you my little brother and I want to pick on you.
Yes.
Like, I am going to like just nag at you and just mess with you just constantly. And then like later on, I realize it's happened and I'm like, oh my God, you've scared him off.
I met her once and she was calling me a fucking idiot. First day.
Yeah. No.
Fucking
It
loser.
happens. Like, oh man, would you need to go to therapy for what your uncle did to you? God damn, Aaron, calm down. What's wrong with you?
You were just in therapy, Aaron. What the fuck?
Jesus. He doesn't know you like that.
Yeah, I think that is actually something that you and Jake share in your history. And this isn't in my questions, but I do want to talk about it because I think it's interesting.
Mhm.
But you both share a history of being bullies, which I think is interesting.
Hell yeah. Look, and let me go and put this up top. I was a horrible bully, and I do owe some people some legitimate apologies. Not all of them. I'm going to say not all of them. Some of them got what they got. But I owe a few real apologies. But there's also, as someone I was bullied
Yeah.
hard when I was very young. I was being small and like just bullied and physically abused and stuff from family, friends, not friends, but other people in general. And I won't go into too much. And then all of a sudden, like it felt nice to be the one in power. Like, hey, I can be the fucking bully now. And then I love bullying fucking everyone. It's my love language, basically.
Mhm.
I love bullying people. I love being a menace. I go
Yeah.
out of my way to do menace shit.
Yeah.
So it's it was a coping mechanism, and then it became something I enjoyed it. It also gave me time to sit around. This is horrible. Sit around and think about little things I could do to fuck with people. I
Yeah.
would spend time going, how can I fuck with them
Oh,
later?
man. I have a story. I have a story. We had a guy at work. I worked at like an industrial place.
Yeah.
And so, because like we are making things and we're like spitting things out into the air, we have our own like ecosystems, ecology, safety guy that
Yeah.
comes by. And we just had a new maintenance manager start at the mill I was at. And he was the safety, it was like water systems safety guy. So like they were trying to check for like what drain off of chemicals there are and stuff. This guy was driving the new maintenance manager absolutely nuts. And I am like, oh, I'm going to mess with him. Because he's like the safety guy's been calling him. He comes by and looks for him. He's like, I'm just trying to get this thing running. Leave me alone. Because like our main mill manager was... No, we did have the main mill manager there. We'd just done a transition.
Yeah.
The previous one had quit. We were on a new one. Don't talk to me about how many bosses I've had in a year. And like big bosses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big management. I've gone through like 3 complex managers in a year.
This just sounds like you're a horrible employee. I'm going to be honest with you. You're
It's
just getting
not
these people
me.
fired.
I've worked for a horrible company. So his new maintenance manager, and he's new to the whole thing. I get together this banker's box. Like, we've got an extra banker's box. I accidentally put an extra one together. We don't need it. I'm like, I've got some scrap papers I don't need that are just like file papers.
Yeah.
I fill this banker's box with them. At the bottom of the banker's box, I put a note that's like, gotcha. But on the top of the
I
banker's
love that
note,
little shit.
at the top of the banker's box, I put a note that was like, from Co.
Yeah.
to maintenance manager. Papers for eco something organize. Please organize, or please organize these. I'll be by later today.
Mm-hmm.
What happened that I did not expect was that night there was an issue with the area I was supervising
Yeah.
that we ran out of a key ingredient because it was salt. So salt, when there's humidity in the air, salt sticks to itself. So when there's humidity in the air and you've got a big metal bin of salt, salt will stick to the sides. So we're measuring from the top down into a cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
So you drop a tape. Tape goes like 13 feet down. You're like, okay, it's 13 feet down. That means there's like 17 feet of salt. Well, if you take like 2 halves of a half of a circle and like put an hourglass figure in,
Mm-hmm.
put an hourglass figure in your cylinder, and where the inside of the hourglass is where your actual salt is. That's the actual usable salt.
Yeah, and the rest
you
is-
have far less
Yeah.
that's coming out
Yeah.
than what your tape measure is saying.
Mm-hmm.
That was the issue we had, and we ran out of salt, and we had to shut down. And so I'm dealing with like big fucking crisis, and it's not just an ingredient you can just go pick up at the store when you're using like thousands of pounds of salt.
I'm not gonna lie, my brain went get salt anywhere.
Not that much.
No. Thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. I think we'd probably go through 13 to 30,000 pounds of salt a day. So I've got the maintenance manager in my office. I've got my direct manager in my office. And the maintenance manager comes in like, this guy left me a bunch of stuff in front of my door last night. I don't even know when he came by and left. He must have come by this morning at like 3 a.m. Left it in front of my door for me to go through. I'm going to call him. And I'm going to lay into him. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it's time to own up.
Did you?
I did. I did.
I would have shrugged my shoulders. Fuck.
Because I was like at the bottom of I was like, he'll go through the box and he'll be like, oh, I just got messed with. He didn't go through the box. He just saw the box and got like top 10 angry.
Yeah.
Like,
It went to 11 immediately.
yeah, just went to 100. He was all the way. He was so angry. And I was like, because we had just like kind of sorted out like, okay, we're going to try to go to, my boss was like trying to figure out where we're going to get the salt from. And this guy comes in, he's like all mad about like this box that the safety manager's given him. And I was like, oh, no, you can't call him. Don't call him. You're supposed to look through the box, you fucking idiot. Shit, I'm already in trouble. Fuck. Okay, I did it. I did the box. The box is me. It's nothing. Don't worry about the box. That was a prank. I did a prank. My manager thought it was funny. He was like, okay. Because we're good old boys. He's like, oh, it's funny. She got you, man.
Did the other guy think it was funny? That's a no.
No.
That's a no.
No, he did not.
He was embarrassed. Like, you know what? Fuck all of you, and walked out.
Kind of. And he was a guy, like, he wouldn't curse.
Yeah.
He would say, like, dang, and then say, excuse my French. And I'm like, fuck off.
I was like, I hate him immediately. Just say the fucking word. You know what I mean?
Excuse my French. Get out of here. Talk to truckers all day. Excuse my French.
Well, so like, you're clearly a bully like me.
Yeah.
Little menace. Like now, was it similar to you? Were you bullied as a child then? Or you just naturally, nah, fuck these people?
I had one bully in my life that I would be like, I would beg my mom, like, don't make me interact with this person. Don't because it was a situation where this person would get dropped off at our house and I would have to like then be the friend for this person. And then I would get in trouble for the things that the friend did, that the person did.
She's just describing her sister.
No, it's a very entangled relationship. Not to get too deeply in it because I don't want to
But
y'all can cut this if it doesn't fit with the rest. But this is the person who CSA'd me as a child.
Gotcha.
And she's only a month older than me.
Yeah.
So it's something had happened to her too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was, kind of the person who made me do things that I didn't want to do. And it was if I didn't do it, she spit in my eye one time. It was violent, but not, I wasn't beat, but it was I was still made to do things and I would still on the backside get in trouble with my family for
for having done the things you didn't want to
why are you guys doing this?
Yeah.
You guys shouldn't have done that. But she actually, middle school girls have turf wars with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on one side and she was on
What?
the other. And, oh man, you just
I'm
don't.
sorry.
There's a whole middle school girls.
There's something else.
They make politicians look like toddler fun time. Middle school girls are just, man. Drag queen spats is kind of what
Yeah.
middle school girl, it's, I don't know how to explain it. But she was on one side of the spat and then I was on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having this confrontation out at the end of school in front of the school. And she looks at me and she's like, I don't even know why you're here because I'm not going to start anything with you because our families are too close. And I was like, but
Solid response.
yeah. But then afterwards I was like, she's right. Yeah. That's one thing that and she's done well for herself now since then.
Yeah.
She's really mellowed out.
She's still spitting in people's eyes, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe
You're
for money.
You're she's a dominatrix. Oh, well, good job, I guess.
She's done some things. but-
Now, are you have you two, and this, you can ignore me if this is insensitive. Have you ever said anything about this pastor or anything like that? Have you reached out to her in any kind of way, or you just kind of know through the grapevine she's doing well and stuff?
Just through social media, I knew she was doing well.
Yeah.
Our family's still my mom just a couple of weeks ago was telling me oh, she's come to visit. Da 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 da. Brought her kids. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Her and her mom are having a spat, and it's just well, I think that's just how daughters are with their mothers. And I'm like, thank you, Mom. You're why I'm in therapy.
Love a mom jab, a subtle mom jab.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up this person that I've told you recently CSA'd me.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're bringing her up. And you're like, she's doing good. And I'm like, don't bring her up.
It's weird that you would feel like that. It's normal.
But she's doing so great. Don't you want to know?
Stop it.
I know she was horrible to you, but she's doing phenomenal. That's what my parents said. Don't feel bad. Jake, I know you hate this person, but here's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Why would you tell me that?
Oh, my mom loves that. She's like, oh, so let's talk about your high school friends that you don't talk about anymore because they all stopped being friends with you after you started dating Nick.
Yeah.
Because they were all like, you shouldn't continue to be with the first guy you have sex with. And I was like, that's dumb.
But I love him.
But He's cool, I guess.
He's really good to me.
The sex doesn't matter to me. The person does.
Yeah.
That seems like a really arbitrary thing to be like,
right.
people stay friends with people they've known their whole lives. And it's like, you just got placed together in first grade.
Right.
So?
I get that.
Yeah. But what were we talking about?
God, I love it.
Because I had another thought about what we were talking about.
Initially, we started with how gender affects your friendship, but we were talking about bullying.
Yes. The thought I had was like, I think for me, I was unintentionally a bully.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be a bully. I was trying to be funny. And also, if you're annoying me and I've got a smart comeback, I'm going to have that smart comeback. We had a math teacher one time that would give us treats for like getting things right. The only time I got a treat was for being a smartass, and she gave me a Smarties pack.
There is nothing more like affirming
Yeah.
when you're being a little smart ass kid and you're like, am I funny? And then you get something for being funny or a smart ass. And you're like,
You get validation from an adult.
this
Yeah.
is my personality now. I'm going to be a smart ass or try to be witty as much as I can be. I get it.
And that was the one way I got validation from my mom.
Yeah.
Was like by being mean, by being sarcastic. And my mom is like, sarcasm is the highest form of humor. It's the peak of humor. You have to be smart enough to get sarcasm.
Yeah.
And I don't care about that anymore. But being mean was like, it wasn't generally intentional. It was just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it.
This
I
is
get what you
also
mean.
like-
And also, like, that's how my family shows affection to a large degree, is by, like, bullying.
That's also, again, the same
So
thing
it's
we have
like-
coming out.
Yeah.
I didn't know people's feelings got hurt. And then, like, I'm dating Nick, and I'm hanging out with his friends, and he's like, babe, when you hang out with my friends, don't, like, jab at me like they do, because they're my friends. But you're, like, my girlfriend, and I don't want you to join them and gang up on me.
Hang on
And
now.
I was like, okay. No, I was really piling on.
I love it. Pile on.
Yeah.
Give me a challenge. Maybe I overcome it, make all of you fucking people a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, Jake. Let's talk about that in therapy.
That's my family coming out. You guys want to dog pile on Jake today? It's, you know what? It's a rainy day. Let's get in there. Look at this piece of shit sitting on the couch enjoying his book. Not today.
Hey, man, how much you pay for a gym membership?
Oh, no wonder you're not good at sports. You're in here reading about Frankenstein. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Weak.
Thanks, Chelsea. You're pathetic. This is my baby sister.
They're like, man up, cut your hair.
So many fucking times in my life I was called a sissy and stuff. And now I'm threatening to all of them.
You're so strong.
Puberty hit, and I'm like, I can hurt all of you at any moment. Fucking leave me alone. Therapy, guys. Therapy. It helps.
But also, that's another thought I had, is that that's also very much like how we were raised to treat other women in the early 2000s. I've been thinking about this a lot because we watched the first episode of that America's Next Top Model documentary. And I was like, oh my God, like I knew we were horrible to each other. Like I knew that we had terrible body issues and we were all competing with other women. We all hated other women. And that was like the culture at the time. But I think seeing it reflected on the screen to like actual things I actually watched when I was that age, I'm like, oh my God.
Because I believe I was around 12 or so watching America's
Yeah,
Next Top
me too.
Model. Like
Yeah.
really influential. Like when you're really like forming your ideas of what
Yeah, being a
being
person is.
successful,
Yeah.
being a person, being influential is.
Mhm.
Um,
And all these women are like really beautiful and successful. So you're
Yeah.
like, this
and
is.
yet they're getting called ugly.
Yeah.
Like you're making this stupid face. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And also incredibly, incredibly skinny.
Oh, yeah.
And all catfighty with each other
Mhm.
and just gaming the system
Oh, yeah.
and trying to game the system and just being used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that was like, to go back to Heroes, like I really liked Tyra at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then like later on, looking at the things Tyra has done,
Yeah, you look
and
back
being
at it
like,
in retrospect and you're like, oh no.
arc that person through.
Yes.
And, you know, and like, I not to cut in,
Yeah.
I've never watched that show. It's not something,
Yeah.
I don't care for that kind of TV anyways.
Yeah.
But like watching it and everything, and talking about how like you guys are viewing it like these beautiful women, they're skinny, etc. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and yet it is what really got me the first episode of the doc I watched with her. It was very much like, oh well, shit, they're feeling the exact same way, but in like real time with these people that they respect or is like their way into it. So I can't imagine them coming out of that, and then everyone else in the world seeing them as like, you know, probably negative terms in some way. They're probably called a few bad names.
Yeah.
And for them to like not be able to express, I'm actually being treated horribly while I'm doing this. So
Mhm.
like even my beauty doesn't measure up and everything. And
Mhm.
you don't get that until fucking 2026. Like, oh,
Yeah.
they were treated horribly.
Yes.
It's weird how our society does that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they were so young.
So
They
young.
were like
yes.
18, 19,
Yeah.
maybe a couple of 2021, 22s, maybe.
Which when you're
max.
like 10, 11, 12, that's like, oh, they're adults. They're
yeah,
old.
they're all adults.
But when you're in your 30s, you're like, oh, they're babies.
Yeah.
They're
You're
just
still-
children
you're
being
still
treated
so
this way.
naive, and you just even when you're trying not to trust, even when you're trying to be like keep a level head and be unbiased,
Mhm.
there's
These are
still
still,
some
like-
level of like
yeah.
respect for authority that we're brought up with, that we believe in authority.
Yeah, and also like if you're on the show, like you at least kind of like want to be a model, so you might know
Yeah.
some things about models. So you know who Tyra is.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is like the big model lady. Like,
Mhm.
so you're gonna have this level of respect for her regardless. And then she's like telling you you're disgusting. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Again, I don't know much about the show, but I think one of the things that it got me irked as well. We were watching the bit about Ebony, I believe it was. Oh my fucking God. Everyone was monsters to her, even the other contestants, Tyra. I think the only one I didn't see just treat her like shit was Miss J.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, at least I like Miss J. Fuck everyone else in this goddamn show. I was infuriated by the first
Yeah.
time. I was like, how did you guys just watch this growing up? These people are fucking monsters.
Yeah.
I watched like American Pickers growing up. Real classy show. Real peaceful.
Real nice.
I didn't get to pick what we watched in my family.
I love swamp people.
Oh,
my
God,
God,
you'd fit in with my
that's fun.
family.
I made so much fun of my mom. I was like, look there, Mom, that's your people over there, Mom. Hey, shoot that there gator, Mom. Shoot it.
And she's like, he sounds
Shoot
just
it.
like your cousin.
Shoot him, Mom, shoot him. Shoot him now, shoot him
And
now.
now you watch it.
Mm-mm.
No?
Aaron watches the Bigfoot shows. Or
I
less
can't
so anymore.
No, listen, guys. I watch court shows.
That's
watch-
true. You have
I
gotten
watch-
really into watching.
I've gotten really into watching just people in court.
I read about court cases, so I'm right there with you.
Yes.
It gets wild. I love it.
No, like just man, I'm listening to one that's like from earlier this year that's like finished, and I'm just like, I listened to part of it when it was happening, and like they're going through this case and like all the police work, and I'm like, oh my God, you fucking idiots. Like what? It's just like the humanity. There's also been like this running theme of like mothers of these men who have killed their partner. And it's like, how much did that mom know? Because she's acting really suspicious.
That is such an interesting intersection of psychology to me. So, like, I 100% understand why you're like,
And
I'm
let me be
interested.
I don't know what you're saying. My mom would 100% be like, my baby was with me all night.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Your
He
mom
actually
writes
was
hard
cuddled
for
up in
you.
the bed with me. He was right like he was a baby, a little yearling, you know. He was right there with me. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Can you wash your hands off, Jake? There's still blood on. Oh, shit, my bad. You know, fuck, you know. But yeah, my mom would definitely ride with me. So those guys you're talking about, those moms definitely knew. Because I'm calling her, I killed fucking somebody, my bad. They had it coming. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Your mom would be like, God damn it, Jake. Okay.
I'm gonna get the
Don't
Clorox.
talk to anybody. I'll be on my way.
I'm coming over. I got the mop buckets. Don't you go nowhere.
My mom was going to be livid about how we're giving her a real Southern accent right now. I do not fucking sound like that, Jacob.
You know it. You know it's bad when Southerners are like putting on the Southern accent.
It's deep. It's deep. I love her, but it's a deep accent. I just every day as growing up or around her, even now, like Jacob. Okay, mom, fuck, I can't take you serious when you scream my name like that. What do you fucking mean? You're gonna have to calm down, Michelle. I can't deal with this shit.
All right. So I think this is a really good stepping point into talking about parenthood and having
Yes.
your own kid.
Yeah.
But I have to pee really bad, so I'm
Okay.
going to do that.
Twice it's felt like I've hung out with you and Nick as like a last minute, like, let's get together, record, hang out, talk about Christmas. I struggle with that sometimes. because I'm like, my favorite place to hang out with people is like a cocktail lounge.
Mhm.
I don't mean getting shitty. I mean like have a couple
Mhm.
drinks, maybe some nachos or something simple. You
Yeah.
know, have a good time. And now, like, it seems like everyone who's like in my age group of older friends, it's almost harder to get them to do that. You know, like, well, we got like my partner doesn't want to go out. I'm like, well, fuck them, leave them. You know, not that don't like leave them, but come out, leave them at home.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
fucking come out, have a drink with me or whatever. You know, and it's getting harder like to hang out and make new
Mhm.
friends. Some of my more recent friends have been like fucking like people in like their late or mid 20s. I'm like, fuck, I don't hang out with you young people. You fucking annoy me. You guys want to go to the club and shit still. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good. I don't want to do that
I'm
anymore.
not, I'm not up for that that's strenuous activity.
Yeah.
I've been to a club in the last like couple years, not too long before I think we went out.
Mhm.
Started going out and like, I fucking remember why I hated. I'm like, why am I here? Why am I hanging out with this young person? I was on a date
Yeah.
and I was like, this is a bad idea. Why are you hanging out with this fucking 23-year-old? I'm like, this is horrible. Jake, you should be dating like 30s and 40-year-old people. Fuck this shit.
This is when you look at them and you're like, I'm too old for you.
I'm
Sorry.
I've learned to, I don't like judging people when they date someone younger than them and everything, but I'm like, who would date someone this younger than them? I hate this person.
Now, like, as like a woman in my 30s, I'm like, all that bullshit about like a woman once she turns 30 is just like old news. Like, you just trade in that car. Like, that's just, you're just gonna be driving a wreck. It's like, it's such bullshit. I'm like, they only say that because like once most people are in their 30s, they're like, oh, you're coming at me with a line of bullshit. Get out
Yeah.
of here.
Yeah.
Like I see you coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Like
Once you get your wits about you.
Yeah, you've gained that experience. Like
Yeah.
when you were like a young lady,
yeah.
you know, like all of a sudden these guys are going like, I'm in my 30s. I can like trick and wow this lady because I have a 401k.
Look, I can throw around this money.
Oh.
You don't know nothing about debt.
Yeah. You know, that college boy you're hanging out with? I bet he can't buy you all your drinks tonight and everything like that. I'm like, but he's also not in crippling debt. But whatever, you know, his wife's not here either. I have low opinion apparently of other guys my age.
I mean,
All right, well, you know, we're trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Not all some of us are trying.
Some of you are trying.
Man, the suction of like
Where are you going with that?
the manosphere
Oh yeah.
of like sucking people in, especially like young
Yeah.
people. Now I sound really old. Young people in.
We say old people, guys. We're only
Yes.
in our 30s.
The youths.
We were called old yesterday.
We
It-
were called old yesterday.
It feels like we've experienced 5 lifetimes worth of crises.
Truly,
What's
truly,
another
yes.
recession? You know, I can man up on that. You know, I got it.
Just tank it, you know.
That's why I have the emergency garden.
Got my bug out bag ready, baby.
I've got the birch tree in the front yard. That'll do for emergency toilet paper. So we've got.
It gets that bad. I'm in it. We all got to go out somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake's gonna go out by walking into the woods and never calling anyone ever again.
listen to like some of the missing people ones for a
I
long time, so
fucking-
you can make a really good one.
I
That's
love
why
that shit.
every time people are like, they were never depressed. They were so happy right before, and I'm like,
I know that. Yeah, I know that
Yeah.
happy face.
Mhm.
Oh, they gave away all their stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're about to fucking kill themselves.
Yeah.
I love listening to like disappeared or whatever, like missing people, and I'm like, nah, they killed themselves. It's can you not
Yeah.
read these details? Like they were so happy. No, they were not.
Why would they do it? They insurance,
Yeah. Then you slowly start learning. Well, they were in like
life
crippling debt.
insurance.
Yeah.
Their wife had left them. Their husband had left them. Their kids had died. They're like, you know what? Why live? They had everything going for them.
Oh yeah, they had some mental things when they were younger, but then they were fine. Then they were fine.
Sure they were.
They were.
Yeah, they found a couple bodies under his house. What else was he gonna do in his free time? He was single.
I mean, yeah, he drank and he smoked a lot, but like, he's just a young guy.
I don't want to make this joke darker. That's all. I
Oh, you're going to therapy again? What, are you going to talk about your uncle again this week?
All right. So you are the first person we've had on who is a mom and has a boy child.
Yes.
So I'm interested in like how you're feeling about like how that's happening. We just kind of talked about the manosphere and like the pull that it has on young men. So tell me a little bit about like what's going through your head when you're thinking about like the future and like how you're trying to strategize in that way.
Yeah. I will say when I first found out I was having a boy,
Mm-hmm.
because we did the testing when you're pregnant, that test to see, just because we want to know everything.
Right.
We're too anxiety ridden to live in not knowing.
Yes.
Like one of our friends is like, they did the testing and they have a friend that knows, but they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you sign up to, if I take a test, I want to know the result. I don't.
Yeah.
Why?
That would eat at me.
Why? Someone knows the answer.
Yeah.
The answer is out there, printed on a paper. And if you have an app, it's in your app. You can look at the app for the results. That's how I found out mine before I got the papers.
So you're not neurotic. Gotcha.
Listen. Listen now. Before I got my ADHD diagnosis, I had several coworkers who were convinced I was OCD because that's how I manage my ADHD.
Yeah.
They're like, don't touch her stuff. Some
This
maintenance guys came in my office to like work on like the equipment that was in the office that was not mine. And one of them put their drink on my desk. I was like, hey, whose drink is that? He's like, oh yeah, that's mine. I'm like, whose desk is that? He's like, yeah, get it off. Get it off of my desk.
I would have accidentally spilt that drink on your desk.
I had one manager come in and like there was like a shelf above my computer and she set her tiny coffee cup right on the edge of the shelf and I was like, move that. Gotta move that.
That would have made me paranoid as well. Though.
You cannot move it. And then it left like the little coffee ring at the bottom
Yeah.
on the shelf. I immediately wiped it. Like she was still there. She just moved the cup and was holding it now, and I'd wiped the ring off.
You're just looking at her. Fucking disgusting.
Animal. We had to share equipment.
Okay.
So when I moved to that office, that keyboard, I don't know what pack rat. So I do know because I know who was there before I was. But I swear to God, they emptied their bag of chips over their keyboard. I took all the keys off of the keyboard so I could clean the bottom of the keyboard base because it was filthy. Filthy.
And she has a boy child, guys. So she's
We're managing.
He's got a very packed schedule.
Yeah.
Wait, now I know we're talking about the kid and everything like that.
Mhm.
So did you want a kid though? Or this wasn't like an unplanned thing or anything, was it? No, it wasn't an unplanned thing. All right. I mean, checks.
So circling around back to my first thought. So when we got the test and I found out I was having a boy,
Yeah.
I was actually relieved. I was like, I wasn't like, I didn't want a boy over a girl or a girl over a boy. I just want the child to be healthy. I was relieved that as, if he goes on and continues to like present as a male through his life, that he won't have to face the same stigmas I did in my like industry, working in a male dominated industry, working as like a supervisor or as someone that's having to direct men. I was just relieved he wouldn't have to be navigating his life through that side because there is just a difference. But
I don't disagree with that.
yeah.
Especially also being like a person of color.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to double down on both of those things.
Yeah.
As a white male, it's been pretty easy for me.
Yeah. Kind of just sit back and you're like,
Honestly, I fell up. I mean,
yeah.
like I pretty much hated every job I've ever had. And they're like, hey, promotion? Why? I don't want to be here.
But you show up on time.
I will show up on time, but that's my thing. I'm like, I'm either 5 minutes early or I'm not coming. You know what I mean? I'm there.
Yeah.
And just keep falling upwards, really. I'm like, look, guys, if you're wondering, that's how easy it is to be a white guy usually. I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
I will say, like, personally, I've always preferred having, this is going to make me I'm just kissing ass over here. I preferred my women managers or leaders or CEOs and stuff like that way more than that. I just feel like, first of all, I prefer hanging out with women usually. Like, I do have a lot of guy friends and everything like that, but like, it's always more enjoyable to be around like my women friends. More compassion. I don't got to talk about the same stupid shit usually. Like, we're going to talk and gossip and bullshit.
Yeah.
But usually I feel like I have more impactful conversation with the women in my life. Guys are like, I got to wade through all their bullshit before they finally go, I'm having a hard time. God, I've been here 5 fucking hours. It's about time. I mean, I'm here for you, bud, but I got shit I had to do today.
Yeah.
You called me to come over. Guys don't do that. Come on. I'm here for you, bud. Love you. Sorry.
What was the question again? Because I know I had my first point and then I've forgotten what your question was.
I wanted to kind of hear a little bit more about like your strategy, like what's going on in your mind where you're thinking about like as your child grows up and like
Okay.
helping him navigate.
Yeah. So we did want eventually to have a child, but the pregnancy was completely unplanned.
Yeah.
ADHD and taking pills on time does not necessarily work out well.
Yes.
So when I tested positive for pregnancy, I was so shocked because in my brain, and like, listen, I've taken advanced reproduction classes. I understand what happens. I know what happens. I don't know how it happened. No, I don't know. I don't know.
It was an insertion somewhere.
I was just like I know that was happening. I just don't know how it happened. Usually I would know when I skipped my meds, when I missed my meds. Just completely didn't know. We just moved into our house and I just started like doing stuff in the garden and I was all brain, garden, all brain. That's all.
Who knew you were growing your own garden? I just got a
Something
high
else
five.
was getting fertilized.
Bunch of perverts on this show.
Yeah, I think my strategy for raising little buddies is just trying to raise him, just trying to support him and also like raise him to be a good person and just not trying to just be like the training wheels as he gets started off. So like being there to guide him, but giving him independence, being there to correct him. You know, if he does something wrong, we're going to stop and correct it. We're going to like, hey, we don't do that. If you do this, you got a timeout.
Yeah.
That's been a big thing for me. And Nick is like, and we talked about this long before we ever got married. And we've been together for almost 13 years. We got married about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So together for a long time before we got married. We agreed a long time ago, we are not putting hands on our kid. Like that's just, no, it's not going to happen. And like gentle parenting gets a lot of like bad smack in the media. And I think that's people just being lazy.
Yeah.
Like that's people saying that they're gentle parenting and they're just not parenting.
Right.
Because you can parent your child and still not hit them.
Right. Exactly.
You can not hit them.
Where was that
And then-
advice when we were growing up? Sorry.
Like you don't have to be perfect, and you're not going to be perfect. And Nick and I just had a talk about this recently, is part of it is showing him, you know, if we do get frustrated and like yell at one of the dogs or yell at him because he's like doing something that's dangerous and it's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or just get frustrated and yell, just have a moment and like pull yourself back from that and then go and explain to him, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I should not have yelled. I shouldn't have yelled. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
I think that's great. I wish more parents would do shit like that.
Yeah.
And the great thing is that when they're little, they don't remember yet. So you've got plenty of time to practice. Let me tell you. You
Plenty
get
of
to
room for fucking up.
practice saying I'm sorry. Because it's hard. Like the first time I told him, I was like, it was so hard for me. And I'm like, this is so stupid. Why is it hard for me to say I'm sorry? Because I yelled.
I think it's hard to apologize for anything, let alone yelling at like your child or whatnot like that. I mean, I think a lot of adults would do well to even just learn to say sorry to themselves.
Yeah.
We would probably be in a lot better world.
Yeah. Even recognize that they did something wrong and then it
Yeah.
hurt somebody else's feelings.
Hey, you don't even gotta apologize. At least if you take it in and go, oh, I messed up.
Yeah.
And then like, let me work on that. You don't even gotta say apology. Just be better next time if you want to take that route, because saying the words is too hard for you.
Yeah.
I'm
And, like,
working on it.
It's been a long running joke in mine and Nick's relationship ever since from the beginning that like our way of like really just like turning on the other person is when one of us is like, you know what? You were right. Because like for one of us to say it is like torture. It's like dragging it out. I'll go put some more wisdom teeth in me and let me go get those removed again before I have to admit I'm right. And even like recently when it snowed here, Nick was like, it's not going to snow. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And so after it snowed, I was like, who was right?
Sir.
Who? He's like, the weather app was right. And I'm like, excuse me?
In all fairness, you looked at the weather app.
Who was right?
I think it's whom. No, I'm just, it's not. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. I know it's not. But you are correct. Yes. There-
You are
right. Look, I think I'm pretty good at admitting I'm wrong a lot.
yeah.
You
And
are
I-
really good at admitting it.
I
yeah.
fucked up a lot. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't even remember having this conversation. You are right. But there's also a double-edged sword because since I have such a poor memory, if you just tell me something like, oh, you're fucking wrong. You can lie to me real easy. I'm like, well, fuck, if I don't remember it, I guess you're right. Everyone's going to know that. So I can just lie to Jake. It's too dumb to catch it.
Mhm.
Not dumb, just bad memory.
Yeah, I do remember some things. Don't fucking try it.
I don't owe nobody nothing.
I immediately get threatened. Don't you take advantage of me?
I'm gonna call my Maisie.
Just take care of me. I do find it. Again, I don't know anything about parenting. It's always baffling to me when people were even like raising children because I think it's a terrible idea. And to hear like, because plenty of my friends and family members have kids now and everything, and just them, all of them have this different style. Like there might be like a overarching way that they parent and everything like that, but they all have their own little styles and everything. And I can't think of too many that are like, you just got to learn to say sorry to the child. And I'm like, oh, it's one of the few I've actually heard say you got to get on their level, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still raising up. We're gentle parenting with a little firm hand to it.
Mm-hmm. Like there's still like there's expectations we hold him to.
Mhm.
Like he's still like anybody. If you're training anybody on a job,
Yeah.
you're having to tell them what to do. And when they don't do a thing, you're like, what's going on? You sit there and you talk to them. And like, if you're out in society and you do something wrong, you go to jail. That's the idea.
Depends how rich you are.
Yeah. So like, if you do a thing, there are consequences. And I think teaching him, because one of the things that's big for me is like giving him experiences.
Mhm.
Because I really just want to, he's going to be an adult. It doesn't matter what I do. He's going to be an adult one day. And I don't want him to be like the guys that I worked with who are 24 and live in a shack in front of their mama's house and their mama does their laundry.
Yeah.
Because what the hell is what? Go do your own damn laundry.
I feel like you're knocking on the door of like this whole thing, and which Maze recently told me was a thing. Boy moms.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be a whole other thing.
Sorry. No, I from what she showed me, which I'm assuming you guys have already talked about to some degree.
Yes.
I'd be fucking embarrassed, honestly, if that was my mom. My mom is ride or die for me.
Yeah.
But she's very much, Jake, you're an independent man. Go handle your life. Don't
Mhm.
go. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
If you want cocktails later, call me. But I'm not like living your life for you.
Yeah.
So I find that so fascinating, and I'm assuming you're not going to be like that for you've just said you weren't going to be like that with your son.
I'm definitely going to try not to. I think I'm in therapy. I'm trying to be healthy enough to like not get into, that trap. I will say like for the first like 2 years or so of his life,
Mhm.
your brain just changes so much. It's so wild. Just the way you think as a parent of a young child is just so much anxiety for us at least. So much anxiety, so much worry about like how other people are going to treat him.
Mhm.
Being careful about who he's around and just making sure he's not being exposed to anything that would be harmful.
Right.
Because it's when they're little, they're so fragile.
Yeah.
They're so fragile. And like now I can look back on those times and be like, I was probably pretty overprotective. Like I was probably like really like worried, a bit too overprotective. But at the same time, I don't know. We try to just give him experiences so that he will be able to make decisions on his own.
Yeah.
Trying to give him a good starting point, letting him explore things on his own, getting him out where it's not just him and me in the house all week. So where he's going to gymnastics and getting to experience, like getting to be more adventurous in safe areas.
Right.
Because like he's going to take risks.
Mhm.
But I also want to give him Like, I want him to be able to be healthy. I want him to have a good relationship with himself and be proud of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want him to be able to trust his own judgment,
Yeah.
but listen to others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So be able to like take in what other people are saying, but be able to rely on himself for his own like judgment calls.
Mhm.
Respect authority, but don't take what they say as the truth of the matter. One interesting thing, this is a side story. So we were doing a makeup gymnastics class. So Nick was taking him. Nick's doing the class. And then I'm watching from like the balcony up above. They've got like a viewing area where you can watch the parent that's taking the little ones through.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some couples there that knew each other that were coming to watch their kids. So I got to listen to them talk about their boys in this other class.
Mm-hmm.
And really interesting how, like, this is a smaller southern town.
Yeah. Not
smallest. It's a good sized town.
Yeah.
But still very culturally southern.
Yes.
Culturally very, a lot of people are still influenced by the 50s.
The 50s, that's progressive of you.
I know. Ladies were voting, I think.
We're working on it.
Yeah. But these dads were talking about, like, yeah, when my wife was talking about putting him in a gymnastics class, I was like, what? That's for sissies. Like, I was like, you're not going to put my boy in that. I'm going to put him in football, put him in t-ball. We're not going to put him in this tumbling class with all these girls. He's like, then I came here and I saw what they were doing. And these big kids, that's athletes. They are pure athletes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
But there's like,
Adult man for the first time comes to terms with sports other than team sports.
Oh my God, if someone shows him men do ice skating,
No.
it's gonna be like,
wait, men ice skate? What the hell?
oh man.
I come from that not knowing about sports. That could be a legit question for me. I never got that though. I would say I'm sure my dad, who
Mm-hmm.
I don't play sports.
Yeah.
He refers to one of my siblings as his. He goes, the son I never had. It's my sister. You think that's a joke? He said it a lot to me alone.
Damn.
So sports, I never got into and everything. And I just don't get that whole like this sport's more manly than this sport and everything like that.
Mhm.
Because I think they're all a waste of time. But they're also all challenging in their own rights except golf. Because who needs a golf? Anyways, shit on that. Just because I have friends at golf. But yeah, I could not understand how you got a grown man like seeing their kids enjoying something and being like, God, that's for the sissies and everything. It just sounds ridiculous to me.
Golf is just a corporate escape. Golf is just corporate networking and
Yes.
getting drunk and driving a golf cart.
Yeah, it's white collar hanging out.
Yeah. It's hanging out with a fee.
Yeah, makes you feel fancy.
Yeah.
We're not out there playing frisbee golf with those losers. You're still out in the sunlight drinking beer. You.
But I'm doing it in fancy clothes.
I got special shoes on and tools. They have shoes and like frisbees and shit they buy. I don't see a difference in sports. They're all waste of time. So I am glad that you get to hear that and be like, at least there's some fucking guys learning, I guess, because I'm assuming these guys are like our age at this point. And they're
I
like,
was just like,
"What?"
oh my God, these are not my people.
They might be now. They're slow. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe if gymnastics ain't that bad, maybe the gays are good too.
God.
That's how you get them.
Now, if he gets older and he says he's gay, no more of this gymnastics.
Maybe ballet, but other than that, nothing else.
Oh, hell no.
I love that there's just this guy in my head who's like this old school Southern. He's slowly becoming progressive through sports like that. I was never a big fan of that ballet, but you see him out there dancing and puree and everything. Brilliant.
Mhm. Now, have you seen old Nachovsky's? Whatever his name is?
That's just a magician on the ice. And I don't mean that card game shit.
Now, them Russians make some good ballets.
They also invade countries,
You gotta wait. You gotta wait for the climax with the pirouette.
Good. I didn't know any ballet terms. And I was like, I think there's one called puree. And I think that's just like a thing you do with a soup or something. You
That is the
puree
thing you
it.
do
All
with a
right.
soup, yes.
God, I don't cook either.
I wasn't gonna call you on it. I was just gonna let
No,
you have it.
I knew I was dumb when I said it. I know books. I don't know anything in the world.
I will say to tie in, earlier this year, Nick gets into different things.
You don't
And
say.
yeah. And so he picked up pickleball.
I've lost all respect for this man now.
Yeah, that's so funny. But it was so wild for me. Like, sometimes I've been so just like sheltered my whole life
Mhm.
that like outside of like organized settings, I'm like, how do you meet people?
Right.
How are you meeting? How do you make friends?
But when you're not on the compound, you actually just say hello to people.
I don't. Huh.
What? I feel no.
I go to Lowe's and I say hi.
Yeah. So I'm assuming
That's-
from all this, Nick is the one that actually says, hi, how you doing to people? And you're like, don't fucking talk to those people.
No, it's actually me. I'm
Really?
the one. I'm better with that like 5-second interaction than we never see each other again. And Nick is like, yeah, I'll see you again next week. I'm not. It's I don't know. It's weird. It is weird. But we went to pickleball, and he made friends at pickleball, and everybody was so friendly at pickleball because they're all switching to
Yeah.
make other teams. Now it sounds like something else switching.
She keeps
But
making
there-
this sexual, not me. I want to point this out. This ain't all on me, guys.
But
I'm
like-
usually the only pervert on the show.
But they're like, hey, are you guys done? Do you need somebody to play with? And they'll like make teams. And it's just like, I left it and I was talking to Nick and I'm like, is this how people make friends? Like I was genuinely like, wow, is this how adults make friends outside of like you go to church?
It's that easy.
Like you go and you, what? Blew my mind.
Yeah. You find an activity that you like, and then you go do that activity. There will be people there. And then you talk to those people.
I was like, I always thought you just had to like pick an activity you could do by yourself. Like I've been running because I can just go run by myself. But now there's a group here in the city. I can go meet them to go run. I haven't, but
But I could.
It's an option.
but I could. I could meet up with them and go run and get to know them. And does that make friends?
I'd be friendly and like, hey, where you guys jogging today? And then I'd go to the other track.
Yeah.
But we're both jogging on the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I make friends. I ran into some people who knew me at a track before I moved to and everything like that. And they're
Yeah.
like, Jake and everything. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You see me sweating and enjoying my day. Now you're ruining it by being friendly. What the fuck is this about? I was very irritated. And then they walked with me. I'm like, all right, I guess we'll talk and be friendly. I just kind of come out here. I see you all the fucking time, but whatever.
It's like when I first went to the gym, I didn't want to go to the gym by myself. And then the person I was going with, she like immediately pulled her back or something. I don't know, some nonsense happened. She couldn't go. So I still kept going because like Nick was going and meeting his buddies, and then they would all like in a group move from machine to machine.
Yeah.
It's funny how guys do that.
Not this guy. I look at those guys and goes, you guys are wasting a workout right now. Well, then maybe two of you. That's all you need.
They had one that had the plan, and then the other two were like,
No one did a good spot that day. Anyways.
no.
I ride or die at the gym by myself.
Mhm.
I was like,
I just got you. I love it by myself. I love to go by myself.
I'd be like, God, I get in there. It's what I'm focusing on.
And I'd never been in a gym until I was probably over 26. No, I'd been in the gym before. I went in the gym in college. But like seriously, not until I was 26. And just learning all of that gym stuff because it seems so unapproachable from the outside.
Yeah.
It can be
And
intimidating, yeah.
yeah. And especially if it's like, I don't want to learn about it. I don't want to know. I just want to go and like work down the row of machines.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it. I just stop. I think enough.
For me, I would give credit to my dad on this. One of the earlier kind of like gifts he got me was like a full on like workout bench and everything,
Mhm.
like a starter one for like someone like
Yeah.
young and everything.
Yeah.
And I've always had that. I've always liked lifting, but it's and I've worked out with other people. I had one of my former friends who I worked out all the time with. It was just a common thing we did. We go to the gym, and it was not healthy. We were just lifting heavy and everything,
Yeah.
right? And then, but as soon as I went back to working out alone, it is just one of my favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I go and like I will say I did enjoy learning about everything because I like having good form. I like me focusing on my mind to muscle connection. I
Mhm.
like when I get done, I want my whole body to basically throb whatever I was hitting.
Yeah.
That, again, sounding horrible, But so yeah, it's a little different for me. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's where I go to just to zone out.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm doing. It's a relief for me most days because I
Yeah.
got all the work or anything going on, this project, writing, reading. I'm like, fuck, let me just blank out on this shit. For
Yep.
a
It's your
bit.
dissociation time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get jacked while doing it.
Yeah. You feel so much better about yourself.
I haven't hit legs in 2 weeks and I'm just looking at them like, look at you, piece of shit.
But as soon as you do, that day, you're going to go home and you're going to be like, touch them. It's so hard right now. It's so hard.
I have
Touch
one.
it.
I have one plan out of this weekend, so I just relax because we've been going nonstop. I'm gonna go to the gyms, and it's gonna be like a 2-hour leg day. I'm like, we're gonna start with some stretches. We're gonna warm up, and then we're gonna just fuck these legs up, bro. Sorry, I'm getting
You're not
excited.
using your mom's gym?
No. My mom has her own gym, and but like I like working out her gym, but not legs. Leg is just me at the local or like just some shitty gym. Like this is what I'm gonna do. No one's here. I got to pick a day when no one's there now because it's fucking New Year.
Yeah.
And,
We're into almost
The end of
March.
February, yeah.
So like they'll start falling off, but then there will be a pickup again as they're like, oh my God, spring break.
not my membership. Oh no.
Oh no.
Summertime starts coming up. They'll start coming back.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start trimming up now. I mean, I done hitting cardio lately, hence the no leg work. I'm trying to, look bikini ready.
Get it. I get it.
So I am curious. I know your kid's very young and everything. Like that. Do you are you worried about him building any community? Because you didn't come from one that's like clearly a strong community. Or I could be wrong how you take that. It seems like you didn't have like a large community to go up around.
No.
Are you worried about that with your kids since you don't have that formal or like your own experience knowing how to just kind of like grow up around it and everything?
Yeah.
Because you are over there going, it's hard to make friends.
Yeah. Honestly, like I hadn't even thought about it.
Wow, good
I
mom.
really hadn't.
Can we get Nick in here? He seems to be
you
an attentive
just-
parent.
You've just exposed
My week.
the blind spot.
You know what? You may not be a boy mom, but at least they would know about their son, okay?
She would be their community. Their community is mom.
Do you need a better no.
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 No. I think that like he'll be starting school and then that will be a major part.
hmm
Yeah.
And then just extracurricular activities as he gets more into those. That's kind of inform.
Not
mean,
too
get
worried
through
about it
that.
yet, right?
No, not really. Yeah.
And he's already getting you're taking him to gymnastics, he's meeting
Mhm.
other kids and everything.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
as if you're keeping him isolated. You're trying to give him these experiences, tools
Yeah.
where he's interacting with other kids his age.
Yeah.
I did something similar with my cat.
Mhm. Patsy.
Gymnastics starts Catsy Klein, yes. I dropped her off at gymnastics. I didn't stay. I'm a dad. I don't stay for this shit.
Yeah.
But I came back and she had made a friend or two that
Oh.
she had hit
Yeah.
because my cat's a cunt.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I just wanted to add that. I wanted to get a cat joke in there.
She's no pussy.
Again, I'm so used to being the raunchy one on this one. You're like, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, calm down over there. It is good to be out perved. The audience wouldn't love it. Chicken said a single dick joke all show, and now, but the guest killing it.
Man, I wish my dog was more like your cat. My dog can't take a hit. She's such a bitch.
My cat is just. My cat's a cunt. I'm not gonna lie. She just screams at me. "Meow,
She just
meow."
yell
I'm
at
like,
him all the time.
I'm just trying to relax. I'm also a good cat dad. I'm gonna brag right now.
Yes.
Great cat dad. Play with him every day. Give him attention. I treat him like dogs usually. Well, we'll wrestle with him and shit. Chase him down the hall. Laser. I love cats.
Yeah,
I do
Cassie
too.
does yell about her laser time. She wants her laser time every night.
Same time. Meow. She goes to stand doing meow. Meow. I'm like, fine, fuck, whatever. We'll play. I'm just trying to enjoy my life, Catsy. I'm out here working 9 to 5 and shit.
She's
What
like,
do you do?
I don't care, father.
Who lays with you when you feel
Laser time.
depressed? Maze does now, you little cunt. That's not true. We get up every morning. She just comes and lays on me. It's just mine and her time.
Yes. It's just
Me and my cat, not me and Maze. We lay together all the time. It's just like in the morning.
Yeah, you do.
Fucking pervert. Leave that in.
Listen, our friends, some of our friends, they've gotten,
Into singing.
they've had major, it relates. Hold that thought. They've had like major renovations done to their house, and they've
Yeah.
been talking about it for like over 5 years because they live in Atlanta, and there's like the city I gotta do restrictions. They're gonna have to do paperwork, blah blah blah. So they were putting in. They talked from the beginning. Like in the beginning, they just offhand mentioned, in their bedroom, they're like reinforcing the walls so they can put anchor hooks into the ceiling. And I was just like, sex hammock. That's what they're going to do. And
That's what I would have thought.
I was like, yeah, it must be a sex.
I'm not going to judge them.
Yeah.
Why else would you want anchor hooks in your ceiling?
And it wasn't until recently that now they've gotten the addition. They're talking about like, yeah, we need to put in the carpentry guys. They're like, the carpentry guys were kind of like, why are we reinforcing your walls? They're like,
Pay
yeah,
attention.
just to put in a hammock. I just like to sleep in a hammock. And I was like, oh, funny story. The first time y'all mentioned it, I just assumed y'all were doing kinky shit.
They probably are. They can do like, I like sleeping in a hammock. Fuck you.
Mm.
Get it.
Yeah,
It's
what you
fine.
do.
Come on, your
My
baby.
college boyfriend did actually have a hammock instead of the bed, and I can tell you with certainty that it's the worst decision anyone has ever made.
Yeah, for
don't
two
think-
people. You're not getting laid. Perfect.
I like to sleep face down.
Yes.
So, like,
Oh, do you have to turn in the middle of the night? No, I hope you enjoy waking everyone in the house up.
like I can sleep in a C shape, but not like that way.
Yeah.
But not like on my side in a C.
Mhm.
Not,
The fetal position.
yes.
Your spine has never been less supported.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. Fuck, I don't sleep in hammocks.
Yeah.
You think this gets out of hammocks easy? No.
That's why our cat won't get in one.
Yeah.
It betrayed her once, and she's like, that's dangerous. Not
Never
touching that again.
I've fallen out of a hammock, so I feel your cat on that.
Yeah.
That shit. I'm not balanced for sports or any kind of like cat-like reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I respect them so much. Respect pussy.
Yep.
Ended on that note. No.
Well, I'm pretty much wrapped up with my questions, though. So,
Yeah.
is there anything else you wanted to
Actually, I
talk
have a
about?
question for you.
Oh, you have.
Mm.
I just
Mhm.
have one. And I'll get out of your way because you're probably tired of Maisie.
one.
You mentioned mom. You did mention dad early on, but you mentioned your mom how she was like the kind of cutoff from community for like, hey, your family out trumps friends and everything like that. Kind of seems like a stopper of building like experiences and community and everything. But what about your dad? Was he not there for this or anything? Or you're like, my dad's dead. You'd be the first person to have a live dad. I'll tell you that. Live dad.
He's alive.
So was he not there to counterbalance your mom or anything like that?
He wouldn't go against my mom.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Like just because like her word was law or
Hmm.
oh.
Pretty much. Like he wouldn't.
Can I ask, are they still together?
Yeah.
Fuck, guy needs to get a life.
Yeah, it's wild.
Do you think they have like a healthy? Maybe not. Seeing how you've been talking.
He loves her very much. I think therapy would be good for her because she has a lot of insecurity.
Mhm.
So it's very hard for her to accept love and then in turn express it.
That seems like something you don't struggle with, probably.
Yeah. No, not at all. Uh,
You're in therapy. It's okay.
I'm working on it. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they it's kind of a thing where I kind of learned with having siblings.
Yeah.
Your sibling is going to do what your sibling's going to do,
Yeah, they're gonna sibling.
and you just might as well not stick your nose in it.
Mhm.
They might even be like, "Hey, put your nose in this." No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I put my nose
They're
in
going
it.
to come in and they're going to be like, "Hey, what do you think of my new boyfriend?" Don't do it. That'll be who she marries and has a child with. Don't do it.
Oh no, my baby sister calls me for like calls me of all the other siblings.
Mhm.
I'm the only brother. She's like, you know who wants to hear about this? Big bro Jake. Let me tell you about this new guy I'm fucking laying with. Why she calls me, I don't know.
Mhm.
And I'm not taking your advice. I give the just most honest advice I can. Like, nah, it sounds like a piece of shit. Fuck that guy. You know?
Yeah.
If he's a good guy, I'm like, that sounds like a decent person. You know, I keep like, look, you can do better than him.
If
now.
she keeps taking it, she keeps coming back for more.
I give good advice.
Mm.
Like, hey, don't take it. Look, you make him pay. You know, not because like a guy or woman thing. Now, fuck that shit. You're broke. Make him pay.
He asked you out, he pays.
Yeah. Look, he said, want to come back to my place? He's paying for the fucking tacos then.
Mhm.
That's how I do it when I'm on dates.
Yeah.
You ask me out, fuck, pay for that dinner. I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah.
I just want to be like, oh, I'm fucking cheap as fuck. I don't count. What else you got?
I don't think I got anything else.
Oh, what's your general view on masculinity? Like as an abstract thing? Just, or anything. How do you, when someone says masculinity or fucking being a man, what do you think?
I think for me, I don't really see it as like if you're gonna man up. I don't see it as like a biological thing or as a like gender thing. Like I see it more as like you're taking responsibility. You're gonna man up. You're gonna be the adult. You're gonna take responsibility for what you've done or what you're responsible for. or taking responsibility of your things, taking ownership of your things.
Responsible human being.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say like being an adult, like fully maturing into a functional adult.
Hopefully emotionally healthy.
Now ask your question again, see if it changes. Masculinity. So being a man. I don't know.
Hey,
I had a thought and we've been so long into it. I'm
That's
just
fine.
fried.
That's fine.
That's fair.
It can be a lot.
Yeah.
That's what her questions over there. I would just be like, hey, what do you do like in your free time? She's like, what do you think about the onset of boy mom culture? It's quiet. You can't make sex jokes. I mean, you can make sex. You can definitely make jokes about that.
So how about like your husband and his male friends? Like what kind of relationship dynamics are you seeing like secondhand? Or like what kind of community and emotional regulation and that kind of thing?
Side of being nerds.
So yeah, it's really funny because a lot of his coworkers and friends are younger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really funny when he first started at this place of work. His co-group was younger than he was,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so funny to me because they just follow him around like little ducklings, and they're just like, and he's very much the like he's very confident. That's something I've always admired about him is his confidence. And how he will like get up and fix things.
Yeah.
Like he will take initiative. And it's just funny that they really kind of look up to him and just follow him around.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cute.
Young men love a daddy figure.
Yes.
They do. Jake has been experiencing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I am not the leader confident type. I'm like, leave me alone. What the fuck? I'm the dismissive parent. I don't want to be in your life. Go away.
But you're the confident, independent one.
That's true.
When they need solid advice, they come,
Yes.
to
Yeah.
mom. Me.
You're like, I haven't seen him make a big mistake lately.
Got to keep it together for dad,
Yeah.
I am mother energy all the way. So now that I think we're done, I'm just going to bullshit you for a second. How you feeling over there? You okay?
That's the most alcohol I've had in a minute.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, good.
Get the whiskey.
I go get a nap. No, mine's tequila.
I fucking love tequila. No one drinks it with me. Like, oh, fuck a margarita. No, I need to drink
No,
tequila.
I want tequila. Don't give me. I want a salt block,
Food.
limes.
Love tequila. It's about the only thing I like doing shots of, honestly.
That's what one of Nick's old guy friends that we've known for a long time.
Yeah.
He's just like, here's a bottle of Don Julio for you. And I'm like, thank you. This is just for me.
And that's a good male
That's a
friend.
good, yeah.
He brings you booze, does not expect to have sex with you. You can't ask much out of a guy. That's
Yeah,
low
no.
bar, but
And it's really like, similar to you and I. Like, our brains are too similar. I don't want to fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
you're the second one of Chrysler's friends. I'm like, you're great. Never want to fuck you.
I don't want to fuck you.
I just have no desire.
We are too similar. It's no.
Yes, it's especially the people I enjoy bullying back and forth with. I usually don't have like that, like, oh, I want to fuck you vibe,
Yeah.
I bully her a lot. Then she bullies me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all payoff, But yeah, of course, I'm not like I'm not usually someone who's like, especially now that I'm in my 30s and I've matured, I rarely am like, fucking look at that person over there. I'd eat them up. I'm like, God, I bet they stay out late.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to be out late, but I'm not going to be doing energetic things. I'm like at a late night bookshop or coffee shop going, this is so cozy. I would hate if there comes a moment where I have to be like a traditional guy again or some shit. Like, Jake, go beat that person up. Ah, God, do I have to? It's going to hurt. I don't want to get
Yeah.
involved in this. He's going to yell at me and
Man, that
shit.
just seems like a lot of trouble.
Can we just call the cops? I'm soft.
We thought about it. Can we just make a? Can I just make a anonymous tip? Can I
Mate.
just?
You think we can just get the manager to go over and say some shit for us? It's his job. Fucking
Yeah.
tell him. He's not helping us right now. I fucking haven't got my taco yet.
I don't work here.
Fucking rude pieces. Yeah, so I'm not good at that. I would be horrible. If I ever to be like stuck in like a traditional male job again or something like a construction site, I'd be fucked. I'd be like, they'd be talking shit. I'm like, hey guys, have we ever thought about just saying how we're feeling right now? Let's get it out here in the open and everything. How about I punch you in the face? That's a valid response, man. Thank you, Dan. I don't know a Dan.
I had to take a week off. I had to take a week off of work one time because we got a new supervisor in, and I was like, if I don't take a week off, I'm gonna get a fucking chair and I'm gonna fucking jump off the loadout dock and just fucking nail him with it like I'm a fucking WWE. I was like,
My God, she's got a chair. Couldn't help it. I love wrestling.
oh man. I was like,
Sound she makes it Nick as well. All right, that's enough, Jake.
That's enough pervert comments, Jake.
Fucking made them all gay all day.
No.
Said all gay. We're all gay. It's
we're all gay.
We're all gay.
in
we're
this
all
room
gay.
at least. I think everyone's a little gay, at least.
Maybe a little.
When I told my mom I was bi, she was like, no, don't do that to Nick.
You know what? That's a fair response, I feel, for somehow.
And I'm like, you mean the guy that we rode down the main street of college with? And I was like, ooh, look at her. And he's like, yeah, calm down over there.
Pull it back a little bit, man.
I have been
like, calm
looking
down.
at women where Jake also was, and he's like, are you just staring at her? I'm like, yeah, I'm a girl, I can.
Like, look over, she's just like lurking. I'm like, look, maybe don't lick your lips while you're doing it, man. Pull it back a little bit. God damn. There I am feeling weird even come. Hey, I like your nails. How dare. I just thought they looked nice. God, I'm a pervert. I make people even feel slightly uncomfortable now. I'm like, hey, yo, my bad, bro. I know I look like this.
I'm just going
My-
to go jump off a bridge. Don't even worry about it.
My sister's favorite compliment that now that I've been an adult and away from like their family dynamic
Yeah.
and I'm exposed to it again, I'm like, girl, that's weird. Why are you saying that? She'll walk up, she'll be interacting with somebody like at a checkout line or something. She'll be like, you smell so nice. And I'm like, calm down. Abort.
No. We do not do that. Do
Take
not...
it back. Take it back.
Oh, you smell good. Do not sniff me.
You smell so wonderful. And it's like,
I think
don't know why you
My mom does love to do that, and I don't think she really understands why that's weird to do.
I think the weirdest happened to me as a guy is like I've had people like touch my hair and stuff and my beard and stuff. Not asking. Like, hey, can I touch your hair or beard? I would say no.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I love your hair. How do you get that? Please, ma'am, take your hands out of my fucking hair. I don't know you. I don't like the people I love touching me usually. What are you doing? My partner signs like a permission slip days in advance to touch me. What are you doing? The fuck out of here.
We have an appointment in the calendar.
It's tonight? All right, I'm in a good mood. We can
I
do
get a
this.
30-minute reminder so I can get prepared.
Stretching in there. All right, mindset. You're a virile guy.
Touching is not scary.
You watched that video earlier on how to please people. You're fine. And by please people, I mean, it's like, hey, can I get you a cup of tea? Not even perverted, see? Just social graces.
Mhm. One time I went through a fast food line and the guy on the other end, it was like Bojangles. The guy on the other end was like, all right, honey, we got your order. Come on around. And I was just like, oh.
I do like when I get called darling or
I
something
think-
like that.
I think when it's like genuine, it's like that gets expressed a lot.
Yeah.
There are moments, so like, I've seen older cats be like, oh, sweetie, darling, love, honey. I'm like, man, calm back. Come on now. I don't even say that shit.
There was a guy I used to work with, used to call me baby girl all the time. And I didn't even notice it because I'm like too focused on my actual job and what do you want from me right now? That it wasn't until like I turned back around and the two people I worked with were looking at me and they're like, what just happened? And I'm like, what? What do y'all want? Like, we're doing like 19 different things like now. Like, let's go. We go.
We're
They're
busy.
like, you didn't stop him. And I'm like, stop him from what? He wanted something. I told him, it's done. We're going now. What do you want? They're like, he just called you baby girl. And I'm like, what? It just didn't even notice it.
I find it so weird that other people notice. I feel like that's something when it does happen in the workforce, it's often just ignored or like, okay, well, it happens, let it go and everything. I cannot think of a time because I've definitely seen it's always women getting called these names.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely seen women get called inappropriate names.
Yeah.
And it just be everybody like, I'm not guilty of that. I've definitely been like, fucking shit said, and it takes so long, especially for us men, we're kind of dumb. I don't want to blame it. We're not taught. It's stupid, I guess, to say that to some degree, but like, a lot of times you don't even think of it. You hear it from another guy, like harassing a woman or harassing another guy that, and you're like, fucking good fun.
Yeah.
You're just having a little, like, that could be your future partner.
Yeah. It happens from both sides. It's just done differently.
Yeah.
It's like I had a male boss and a supervisor both at the same, like in a conversation with me at the same time. One of them said, well, talking about like my relationship with Nick, that I'm like living with Nick, because it had gotten brought up somehow, but I wouldn't have brought it up. They
Right.
would have asked because I wouldn't have discussed that in a professional setting.
Right.
Just like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, we live together. At the time I always said we were engaged
Yeah.
because that way, like, people back off more.
Yeah.
I would wear a wedding ring even though we weren't engaged or married because that was an instant, like, I was doing a walkthrough, getting to know the different areas
Yeah.
of the plant, and a guy hit on me and then was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your ring. Because it's like, you saw me walk in. Calm down, first of all. But
God, that
I
is
had-
weird.
I
Sorry.
had the manager said, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Whipped out an old Jim.
Yeah. I was like, really?
Fucking really, apparently.
Really?
I have never had a fucking woman say anything so ridiculous to me. I've heard guys say it about women, but
And then I had a female boss years before that ask me out of nowhere, why don't you date white guys? And I'm like, what do you...
have you met him?
Which is like, also, Nick's dad is white.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to get into this. I don't think this isn't appropriate. This is not appropriate.
Not work talk appropriate.
No.
Not appropriate.
No, ever. What the? Who the fuck would I would notice. I'd probably be a dick if someone asked me that. What do you mean you don't like dating white people? I'm like, well, fuck you. Who knows who I fucked and dated in my lifetime? I'm a whore. How dare you assume that I'm not just fucking everything?
Yeah.
That's not true. I'm not good at touching, so. But I would fuck anyone if I was.
I'll talk some mad shit
Fuck
about
yeah,
it.
I will fuck anything until I have to touch it.
Yeah. That's kind of a...
Unless I'm drunk. Drunk Jake's
Different.
Yeah, you know. Drunk me loses all like we like being touched. Lets all my defenses down. Gonna be drunk enough.
like a cat.
Yeah.
Catnip.
Then I'm like, oh, I can snuggle you so much right now.
Is he passed out? Yes, but he loves us. Don't worry.
Yes.
I got permission beforehand.
Yes.
Are you okay with this? I'm gonna send her playlists to make up for my lack of physical. I made a Google play. I'm such a fucking nerd.
Aw.
I'm a dork, not a nerd. Now,
No.
I think.
That's cute.
Deeply adorable.
I send her mom a playlist too, because you got to get them all right.
No.
Mom was so excited. She was like, he made me a playlist? I'm like, yeah, he made one
Aw.
just for you.
So goddamn romantic.
Some hard disk CDs. Burn some CDs.
If I had a CD that burned a CD, I'd send her something like, I made you a fucking CD. Now you just got to find something to play it on.
For babes.
No, I do enjoy doing little things like that for her, though.
Mm.
Since I'm not great at like the traditional kind of like, let's be a touchy relationship. And she's very touchy, very much a cuddle
Yeah.
person. And I'm like, I can go months without being touched. I'm fine.
Yep.
That's enough about me. All right, dearie. We've kept her very long.
We
After
have.
she was like at 30 minutes, goes, I'm burned out, guys. I'm like, let's keep her a few more minutes.
Very buzzed.
Alrighty. Thanks,
joy.
Aaron. Thanks for
Yes.
coming.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for talking to us.
For the second time I'm meeting you, it's still very pleasurable.
Yes.
I'm working on Nick. He'll come around. He'll be my friend.
I
Nick's
think he's
fine.
already your friend.
Nick's fine.
See, that's too easy. I need a challenge.
Nick's very agreeable.
Nick's
I need Nick to slowly come to me like a cat that's questioning it. Like,
Nick is the friendlier of us.
Yeah, you've already got
See?
Aaron.
too easy. I didn't even notice.
No, as soon as she was like, oh, y'all listen to the same podcast, I was like, oh my God, someone in real life.
We're
It's-
gonna be friends now.
Someone that's not on Reddit.
No. No. I did do some John Bonet research before I came. I was like, let me get boned up a little bit. And I went to Reddit.
I don't even want to fight.
I read the Reddit things about how Burke did it. I'm like, is this the shit she's reading? The whole time I'm just like, this can't be it. One of my favorite was like, there's just people out there that refuse to believe this, and they go through the list of this child, and I'm like, he didn't kill this woman or this child. I was like, go back and read what you just wrote. I just want you to take a moment and critically analyze what you wrote. Anyways, I'm done. I won't fight with you today. Say that for
Okay.
I know it's late.
All right. All right. Recording.
I'll make her drive tomorrow.
end.
Well, thanks for listening this week. I thoroughly enjoyed the interview with Erin. She's one of my favorite people of Maisie's friendships. Way better than Crystal Knight. No, but seriously, she is better than Crystal. I hope you enjoyed it. No, Maze cut out so many dirty jokes from this interview. She wouldn't let us keep them in. I don't know. She's responsible and all that. Subscribe to all our things, YouTube, Insta, the other. I think we have a TikTok now. I'm not fucking sure. Patreon, definitely Patreon. We have a free tier because times are hard and we're all broke and there's a fascist regime taking a hold constantly. It seems. Look, I only have 2 modes. It seems now. Depression and perversion, and that's you got both in this one episode. So I hope you enjoy it. Tune in for our next episode. Bye. Woo doggy. There's a snake in my boot.
We're gonna gain some T-Rex arms.
That's exactly what we were
You
joking
can eat some
about.
grabbers.
The dysmorphia will not let me do that.
I've listened to the first episode and I just giggled the whole time and also yelled at you about the movie you weren't remembering.
I like to say when things are dead, lets people know. Meow.
Meow.
She showed me that and I was like, you let Aaron know I don't give a shit. You know what? I would say this about my uncles. Both alcoholics. Can't wait for my parents to know. Jake, what do you mean you're a sub? Fuck Stephen Miller, that fucking fascist.